Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. Or I'm a...
We're back, baby, yeah, it's coast to coast. With the faceless villain you missed the most. Cruising the whip, pimpin' fun times. Masked up, supersizing a verbal drive-by. Speed dialing hair club for me. Wondering if I snatch a wig if they'll buy it again. But this is bigger than lead press on hair. Or I was spent sending emails no one reads because they don't care. Or the summary of your life goals. Lit broken dreams and pockets filled with holes. Remember you begged saying you were a fan. Like on the daily how you pretend to be a man. All because you didn't get your way. Screaming I'll sue because no one listened to what you say. Honestly, that's pathetic. And maybe I would have been a tad sympathetic. But you had to make this personal. Hoping for a sudden career or life reversal. Not knowing that all of the money in the world can't project the one thing you'll never have, and that's a modicum of respect. And apparently some folks haven't heard that targeting kids is a useless lawsuit, so rip it in words. That's an invitation to the wrecking ball. And like Pokemon, baby, you're gonna catch it all. And you're gonna catch them all. Yeah, you're gonna catch them all. And sure you'll drop some lines and pretend that they slap, but listening to you is like catching an E version of the clap. And we aren't talking applause, we're talking penicillin. Pretending someone other than life is your arch villain. But keeping blaming your problems on the Hales, and pretending that your tears will erase your fails. Simply trying to boost your self-esteem by weaponizing an army of never was for your next live stream. Now go chase your ambulance, cause I'm out.
Alright, I plead the fifth, baby. I plead the fifth. Oh man, how is it going today? I gotta give Dead Punk some love. I saw this avatar and I was like, man, that is beautiful. Now it has to be written out on a message for you because I know otherwise it doesn't have the same impact. Oh my God, I'm not sure. Oh man, these people have gotten fucking crazy, man. They have gotten crazy. And here's the thing with this kind of stuff. This is how, quote unquote, detractors always act. This is how they always are. I've seen it in comics. I saw it when a guy named Vic Mignogna was targeted. I saw it in the Johnny Depp stuff. Now I see it here too. Every time these detractors, when they can't make a real point, you know what they do? They flip their shit. And they do awful stuff. They do absolutely awful stuff. Now there was a live stream apparently last night. I saw some screenshots talking about. I go in and watch it, but I'm too lazy because I'm just too lazy. I just don't want to watch these people talk about stuff. But apparently, it's because they're boring. I mean, here's my thing. I don't particularly care if they disagree with me or not, but they're boring. Like they're not interesting. And apparently telling them that gets them all, like Brucey gets his panties in a ruffle and, he's just got to get mad. So apparently there was a nice post talking about some stuff last night saying that during a live stream that, let's see, I'm going to read this to you. Give me 1 second. During it talks about everything that he's doing. This is somebody else's take on that, okay? They said he's prepping for his fight against the Disciplinary Commission in Connecticut. He thinks if he can succeed at forcing YouTube to either change their policies or enforce them against those who utilize them too efficiently to take down a few YouTubers who wouldn't support his fight against the Discipline Committee. Huh? Is that the plan, Brucey? Are you trying to shut down the people that wouldn't talk about your little bitty case? See, this guy, like I put in the little song thing, his first email. So I went back finally and I read his first email to me. And this guy, he starts out like every one of these crazy nitwit fuckers do. He's a fan. They always say they're fans. But what they really want is they want your platform. They want your love. And when you don't give them that tug love, what do? They go absolutely crazy. They do every single time. And that's not a reflection on people that enjoy stuff. Man, I'm a fan of many folks out there. I love a lot of people's content. But the craziest people are always like that. They disguise what they want. I'm a fan, and if only. But people didn't bail him out, so. But anyway, it continues from there, too. So, let's continue that. Give me 1 second. Whoop, I closed it. Give me a second here. So then it says that he would get enough clout and to revise the disciplinary committee practices, remove the members' immunity so he can go after them, all while setting new precedent in defamation cases. So he thinks he's going to set defamation case like a new, he thinks he's going to set a new standard. Like they think, I mean, you talk about stupid and ego. Like we discussed last night. Again, I'm going to talk about some other stuff in a minute. I'm going to let everybody get in here so I don't have to, talk about it a bunch of times and repeat stuff. But we talked about the way that they're going after Larry and everything. And again, I'm not going to rehash too much on that. I'm just saying, like, this is already spelled out. Very much so. Again, we know the provision to that. The fact that, again, they want to pretend that this isn't there. But also, he apparently thinks that he's going to get some big cheddar out of this. Like, I think Larry was onto something last night. Larry said that this is a guy that has been practicing for decades. And on top of that, he again noted, he knows a lot about this guy. Like he wanted to know who was coming after him. So he asked about them in friend groups and other things. And what he's found is the guy, I guess he's had a modicum of success, but he can't be too successful because he spends fucking all day long on YouTube. Not monetized, by the way. He spends it all day long on YouTube. Not making any money or anything else. He's just sitting around. So he obviously doesn't have any clients. Because if you have fucking clients, you wouldn't be on YouTube, You'd be working. You might make some videos and stuff. You might have like an allotment of time, but you wouldn't spend 4 to 9 hours on one live stream talking about these fuckers from random county, Otter Creek, hoping you get a payday from Jeremy Hale. I think that was 100% correct. So on here, it notes that he believes that these cases are going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So big are they that he's going to have to bring in 2 to 3 more lawyers to join him. That's what he's trying to aim at, Jeremy Hale. Now, you tell me. He's been trying to recruit people. He's doing it actively through emails. He's telling any channel out there, hey, get on there. And also, implied threat if you don't. The implication, like you look at what was mailed to Shizzy Wiznut, by the way. Props to Shizzy. Shizzy, I guess we'll do something next week is probably where, because their schedule and my schedule, I want to have them on to talk about some stuff, but it looks like it'll be probably in the later next week. And that's where, you know, it's just scheduling issues. But I think after that, we'll be able to line it up. But, yeah, telling Shizzy like that, you know, mailing them. And again, I'm this person's lawyer and you're participating in it. Let's pull that up real quick. Let's, I don't want to paraphrase. I hate paraphrasing. I don't mind paraphrasing shitty live streams. I don't want to watch it. But I don't want to paraphrase this. So give me 1 minute. There it is. I knew I had that laying around here. What's up, folks, by the way? Like I said, I'm going to talk about some stuff today. This is going to loop in, like, these folks are crazy. You know, I'm getting to a point with all this, too. You know, with Shizzy Wiznut, like, for example, you know, the way that they wrote Shizzy at first was telling them that they are the lawyer for Michelle Preston. They don't write anything about them. They write that they're the lawyer for them. So, you know, these are implied threat. That is definitely an implied threat. They're trying to giant cash grab, hoping that they can grab money off of anyone out there. And it's fascinating because as they do this, they tried that angle. The fucking degenerate weirdos around them, they have gotten to the point where they want to go after anyone and dig into their lives and everything else. So the other day, they decided, I think it was 2 days ago, they decided that they would dig into mine. And there's been a subject I haven't talked about for a year. And this is not, people were like, you don't have to talk about this, Tug, if you don't want to. You know what? I live on the microphone. I talk about cases. Sure, I'll talk about it. Now, you may notice that they pulled up a GoFundMe that was from about, I can't remember if it's September or October last year. It was a GoFundMe from my wife where I had initiated divorce proceedings. And the reason for that was because, and again, when I'm talking about this, I don't mean anything negative toward her. You know, in fact, she has gotten her life together since all of this stuff. But at the time, there was a whole reason for it. There were some allegations in there that were ugly, you know, and of course, they were probably because of anger. I can understand why there would be anger in that, but I didn't address it then because I didn't want to react with anger either. Now, the reason I did that was because for 2 years, she had a problem with alcohol, and it was not good. It was very bad. And again, when I talk about this, she's in recovery, she's got her stuff on track, and I'm sure in retrospect, she would probably say something different than was in her GoFundMe thing, right? But at the time, she made allegations that I was withholding the kids and everything. I had the kids. I had them lawfully, let's say. And they've lived with me for a year. 100%. They've lived with me for a year, and they are good to go. In fact, my days are very hard days. As a father, my days are hard because my kids are homeschooled. So my day starts at, usually I wake up about 5:30, 6, right in there. I set up a school lesson if I haven't done it the night before. That means writing it out. I have a day job, so I start my day job about, it starts up at 8. But I also have my kids cued in on what they need to do about 7 o'clock or so. We have activities that have to be done too on top of that. So I have a day job. We go to activities right after. Then I do this. Then I prep a lesson that night. And I research. So I sleep about 3 hours a day until I just can't run on that. And I crash. That's pretty much, that's my schedule. Hard schedule. But it's worth it because your kids are worth it. They are very much worth it. Now, what really bothered me about these people digging this stuff up, and I worried about this, is I'm afraid that they will derail any positives that my wife had made over the last year. I mean, she had struggles. They were rough. They were rough enough. Again, this year would be my 20th anniversary. This, coming up. It'd be in the next, it'd be within the year is what I mean. So there'd be 20 years. So that's not something to take lightly. But, the kids, they're the most important thing. And they put my kids in the crosshairs with this stuff, bringing it up. And I told these people, if they did that, it would be game on. And I've seen them whine about it, and I've seen them complain because I said that. But I told them, if they fucked around with my kids, or if they fucked around with somebody again in recovery, they might cause them problems, that I would train wreck them. And I 100% mean that. So it's game on. I'm not a blood sports person. That's what they call like internet blood sports. I don't know if you've never been around internet like this kind of stuff. There used to be old back and forth. People would get together. They would fight each other almost. It'd be crazy stuff. You see it if you've kept up with any of the Ricada case. You can see remnants of it pop up because it's people versus people. But that's not. I've never really been a part of that, But I mean, people, that's who these people are. They claim that they don't bother or harass kids, that they are out there protecting kids. But when they get a chance to put a crosshair on some little kids, they definitely try it. Just because you talk about a case and you make fun of them because they sound like fucking Grimace on the microphone. This situation, though, like I said, that was none of their business. And I didn't talk about it because that wasn't anybody's business, just to be honest. But, I mean, there's, I'm not making any, like I said, I want to gloss over. I don't want to look backwards. It's not healthy to do that. You don't look in the rearview mirror at your life. You don't live there. You live in the now and you aim for the future. You set plans. You decide how you're going to go forward with them. And when somebody else has successes, no matter what you thought about them at the time or anything, you celebrate that stuff. And you hope they get back to who they were. I like my cigar. I'm getting it blazing for a second, so excuse me. They did get under my skin a little bit for a moment, though. I do have to say. So bravo to them. It's just like, these are people that I've seen a little bit of who they are. I've seen a little bit of that. And again, I ignore them because they don't really matter, except Bruce. Bruce does matter in this because Bruce has decided to force his way into litigation because he's a failure at life. Let's just say it that way. The dude is a fucking failure at life. So he sits around all day. And what did he do? He found this case where he thinks, hey, big YouTuber, 700,000 people. Maybe he can make a name for himself because he hasn't done that. So he contracts on other people to harass them. I mean, that fucker is a harasser. That is who you are, man. If that bothers you, I mean, he's going to sue everybody. What, are you going to sue people that talk about you too, buddy? Sorry, you put your name in filing. You add us to emails. Fuck yourself, dude. You've been whining about us forever. All right. You see, you're transparent. And typically you wouldn't matter. It's actually typically, you'd probably be able to talk to people and not just beg people, like writing email after email, begging people to come on shows. I mean, this dude, it's amazing to me to see. Like, we were laughing about that. We were laughing about a letter last night with DUI guy. This letter, I want to give you an idea of how pathetic this stuff is. This is fucking pathetic. And it is. So, give me a minute here. Let me pull this up. I get 1 million emails in a day, so it takes me a minute to find all this stuff. Good Lord. I've learned a lot about the court system, too. It's crazy, man. I'll tell you some crazy shit about the court system in the next few weeks. I really want to talk about expert witnesses. Did you realize under the state that an expert witness, this is just random, but I just want to note this. Under the state, any rights you have, like contracts and stuff, they're pretty much thrown out the window. Like an expert witness I had to deal with, because you're going to have this aimed at you. And again, no animosity toward the expert witness I have animosity towards. Because in their contract, they have a section in there that says, in the case of gross negligence, that would be willful misconduct, that you agree that you won't sue them for more money than they get paid. Now, these are people that... depending on what they do, depending on what kind of expert witness they are, they could evaluate children, they can make recommendations about them, they could get somebody hurt or killed. And a court will force you to sign an agreement like that. That is jacked up. And I dealt with that in the last year. One of those places, like where you just throw all your rights out the window and you're on the defense. It's crazy stuff. And I plan to put a spotlight on a specific place because of they're a place out of Tennessee, and I plan to put a spotlight because I told this place, I was like, you can make me uncomfortable for 2 months, but I damn well will expose the shit out of you for what you are. I will. And it's amazing. It's amazing that there are places that expert witnesses are garbage anyway, typically. I have a problem with that. I've had a problem with I've talked about that for years, But what's really, really insidious is that there are expert witnesses out there that deal with kids. They, like I said, they make recommendations on kids, and they could potentially get them hurt or killed, and they know it. They put it in their contracts, and the state forces you to sign off on that. They're like, oh, got to sign that paper. You're like, I don't agree to shit about willful. Can you imagine, like, if I hired a contractor and they were like, hey, if I built your house wrong and it fell down and killed everybody, you agree not to sue me over it? No way. But in that case, you do. That's crazy stuff. So I think I'll talk about those later on. I know that was off point while I was looking for this. But that is one thing. I was like, man, that has been one eye-opening thing, looking at things in a court. Right now, though, as far as the stuff that all these folks tried to dig up, actually, it's not at a... it's at a fixing things that happened in the last couple of years as far as the kids are concerned. And this is, like I said, I worry about these people. They're going to start bothering somebody that is in recovery. And that is a delicate place to be. And that is ugly. That is very ugly. Because it is hard to get there. I've been there, man. I don't judge people for... You can't erase actions. You can maybe make good on actions later on, but you can't erase actions. But I don't judge people for substance issues. I want to make that clear, too. I would be a fucking hypocrite for doing that, But I've been there. It's hard. It's a difficult place, especially in that first year, man. It is a really difficult place to be, and it's especially insidious with alcohol. Like, I've never had this predilection for alcohol. For me, I never had that problem. And thankfully, because alcohol is available everywhere. It's hard to get away from. It's really hard to break because societally, we look at it like it's no big deal. And for some people, it is a very big deal. And again, all these places, they just pop up everywhere, you know, and I mean, like I said, you know, it's one of those things that can be ruinous. And when you finally get on the road to recovery, you're doing a good job. You know, again, you're trying to make amends for things that happen. People like these dipshits roll along and they try to destroy what you're doing. And that, like I said, that bothers me because that exposes who they are. And that's what they were doing. They thought they found a ha-ha. Yeah, I took care of my kids for a year on my own, for a year. You know, does that make me look bad? I think that looks, you know, again, I was like, wow, they dug up. You could call me, I've been in the media. They've called me everything under the sun. They've called me a racist, a sexist, you know, because I don't agree with them on stuff, on cases. If they want to stick with that, maybe they can make somebody listen. But to pick a thing that doesn't make me look like a piece of shit, you know, that shouldn't there. Oh my God. I was like, are you kidding me? That you're going to load that up? And really the reason I think they would do that is because it puts a crosshair on other people. Because they know what they're getting into, you know? Like I said, they said they were going to do that too. I told you they were going to. We talked about it before. But again, these are the people that, like I said, they say they don't do that kind of stuff. And they're disturbed when people like myself say, if you do that kind of stuff, fair game. You are fair game. Everything about you is fair game. Did I still have this stupid thing pulled up? I didn't mean to have this pulled up, by the way. I was talking the whole time with that up there. I didn't realize it. Personal life is none of people's... Well, you know, it's not like... I live on the microphone. I expect sooner or later people to dig up anything in my life. And so, you know, I learned this. First of all, it doesn't matter how big a channel is. This is a lesson that anybody needs to know. If you go on YouTube and you talk about something, anything, the Otter Creek stuff, this business, any other business, when you go out and you talk about it, you'll pick up, quote unquote, detractors. Now, some detractors just disagree with you. And that's okay. You have 100%, you have the right to disagree with whatever you want to, man. But some people are absolutely crazy. I've seen that. I actually think I don't know, it's hard to say. Like I was going to say, I think the worst ones are, but then I thought, well, maybe I won't go with that. I've seen them, though, people that, like, say you don't like something in Star Wars. I've seen this happen. You don't like that. The people that simp that are hardcore that, they won't just come after you. They'll try to shut you down. And if that doesn't work, they'll go after your life. I mean, it's just insanity. Like, I can't even tell you the insanity. There is nothing like talking about a court case and having CPS knock on your door because of it. There is nothing quite like that. I cannot tell you how fucked up of a world that you are in when that happens. So when Bruce tries to talk about weaponizing CPS, the thing that really annoys me, I've had CPS weaponized against me. I've had that attempted. And, you know, it's never worked, by the way, because these fucking people, like, they're nuts. And there's plenty of proof. But the wild thing is, like in the situation they're talking about, like for me, what they tried to weaponize, like I said, I took care of my kids for a year, you know. And they have to go through a lot of steps to ensure everything is good to go. And they are doing that. Bravo to them, by the way. Like I said, I don't want to take anything away from it. On the other side, the people they're protecting, people like John Cook, man. That fucker pulled a gun on a child. The woman that he is he is the lawyer for has talked about the kid can't sit on their lap. That he purposely infected them with RSV. I mean, holy shit. So when and the property there, man, it's crazy. So it's just like when people try to weaponize allegation, they try to weaponize, like I've talked about this allegation culture. And, you know, people who try to weaponize stuff that goes on for their benefit, they truly disgust me. And that's what we have seen. That, you know, we have people wandering around that place talking about, you'll get a nail in your eye. You know, you have this problem, that problem. I mean, good God, man. What has to be there? And again, I'm not telling anybody to contact anything. I'm just saying. I've been there. There's nothing like it. You want to know what a false fucking CPS report's like? Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I've been there. One day I was sitting downstairs. I had a knock on my door. I got told about that. I was like, huh. I went upstairs in my boxer shorts, in fact. Because you know what? That didn't even merit a pants day. I was like, that ain't even a pants day. I'm not even going to put my pants on for it. So I went to the door. I found out about it. I contacted my lawyer, whom I actually have a real lawyer, you know, not some scab I found online, but an effective guy. He contacted that. We worked it out, and bam, wham, bam, we were done. But yeah. And you know, that was done overnight. So people who deal with false shit. Like, I don't even have my face on the screen. You don't see my kids. You may hear them walk around or something. But in that instance, like I said, as a parent, when I hear somebody claiming that someone is a danger, if I have any concerns whatsoever, as a parent, I'll go to any length to protect my kids. That's what makes you a parent. That is the thing. That's why some of this shit bothers me so badly. Because as a parent, like I said, I will go to any length to protect my kids. They will not be harmed. They will not. I'll spend every dime, I'll spend every minute of my life making sure that that happens. That's what a good parent does. A good parent doesn't talk to their kids like garbage. And I hear that over and over again. When I watch these court hearings, I think they're funny. But every time that kid stuff comes up, it fucking wipes the smile off my face. You know? Why? Because she talks to her kids like they are her kid rather, is like they're hot garbage. She uses the same tone in every fucking video we ever see. Anything that has come up, it's the same tone. Whether it's dealing with Jeremy, whether it's dealing with his lawyer, whether it's dealing with a child, it's all the same thing. That looks like poison to me. And what really fucking bothers me about that is if there was a little self-reflection, instead of pointing at the Hales, this shit could get remedied. I'm not saying everything. You know, if anything about John Cook is true, he needs to go. If these fucking people care, they go out there and clean up that fucking property with them and make it safe. But of course, they won't put their money where their mouth is because all they are fucking keyboard slacktivists. They've probably never really done a fucking thing that ever helped the world in real life. Sure, they can sit on live streams for 9 hours a day, but try working with people that are truly damaged, that are hurt. They probably have never fucking done that because slacktivism is easy. If they really think that's truly a safe place, they can see the problem there. Go fix them, man. It's not hard. Then you got to get off your fat ass and do something, right? A little too much work. It's easy to sit there and fucking, like I said, put bullseyes on little kids and stuff, but it's a lot harder to go out and change the world, right? But of course, they'll pretend to be that. They'll whine, they'll moan, and they'll say that mean old Jeremy. You know what? Here's one thing about Jeremy, like they love to ignore. That guy has probably done more good in life than they will ever fucking do. That dude has put money out there. In fact, when we look at this case that we've been talking about so much, What attracted people? Like the denial that these people moved down here in order to benefit off of him. It's crazy. There's an easily established timeline. You can see they came there. They talked about it. They tagged him in. They discuss it. She discusses it in her own deposition. It's madness. Why? Because the dude gives away money. Because the dude helps people. Again, you don't have to like the dude. But man, give him some fucking respect for that at least. I mean, man. But of course they'll have a 9-hour live stream telling you why that's, I don't know. I don't even know the spin to that because it's fucking, who cares really? Like I said, this is not really structured that I'm talking about. I thought about how I wanted to talk about this. And I thought, I don't want to, again, I don't like to be, in my own life, I don't look to the past and live there. Now, in situations where, like I said, you've dealt with court, by the way, when I've mentioned court, that stuff is sitting right now. In fact, I think that my wife and I are adults, and we can, like where she has her mind right and stuff, I really want that. And I think she can get to that point. She can make right with anything that's happened, and no matter how anything goes forward, I mean, she's my two girls, that's their mom. Again, we were together, fucking 18 years is a long time. So with that, the court stuff, it's calm right now. There's no lawyers involved with any insanity, nothing. It's getting things prepped with the kids, meeting them on their own terms, talking to them, again, getting everything right. I don't even want to, like I said, this is weird to bring up because I figured I'd bring it up sooner or later. I figured I'd have to, but it's so bizarre because it's been sitting there for a year. I probably would have had, a year ago, I would have had a different thing to say, probably. But after a year of contemplation and watching somebody try to make better in their life, to go out, again, people can fuck up. Like for me, okay, I had addiction problems. I had a problem. I went into a doctor's office one day because I had been having a terrible pain in my side. It was about where my appendix was, right? So I had this terrible pain in it. And I went through all these tests and they didn't find anything. I was like, well, that doesn't help me. I'm in pain here, this is awful. Now, on top of that, I actually have a handicap placard for disability because of a car wreck at one time. I get along pretty well, but sometimes my knee bothers the shit out of me from it, so I've got that, and sometimes it'll cause pain on top of that. But I had this pain come up, and years ago, the answer to it was prescription medication, so that leads to problems. And it did. It led to a lot of problems for me. Now, I didn't have kids at the time or anything like that, But that's why I say I don't judge people for addiction issues. That's a rough, crazy road. It was hard to get out of. It was a rough place to get out of. And like being a dad actually got me out of that. Like just talking real. Like my life, I cleaned it up because I have kids. Not that I had them yet. But I made sure anything that was horrible or negative, it was out of my life. Because my oldest daughter was there. In my life, like my biological father was not a good dad. And I don't want to be that. So, but I've been there. Point is, I've been there. That's also why people like the stuff with John Cook is frightening to me. Because, you know, I've seen it. I also have worked in mental health. I've worked in it for a long time. I've talked about working with broken kids. Like, working with kids fucked me up inside, you know. It is the hardest thing to do. Like, I don't know how, I don't know how people do that for, like, decades and decades at a time. Because, like, little kids, you know, I'd work with little kids in mental health, and they tell you the worst shit that's ever happened to people. Only it doesn't come from adults. It comes from little kids. And it is awful stuff. And it messes with your worldview. It gives you secondhand trauma, you know. And what I'm afraid of is that little kid that we've talked about is they're going to grow up that way. That is the saddest part of this. And again, I'm not telling anybody to do anything in this situation at all. I'm not telling them to you know, call a place or anything. I'm just speaking my point of view on this stuff. I'm afraid that ultimately we become the environment that we're born in, these formative years especially. If you get negative attention, you know, when my kids, I try to always give them positive affirmation. Now, every now and then they'll do something, you know, and you have to get on to them for it, of course. You have to take care of that. But you can also lead that to a positive way. And when I see the stuff that's been going on, I don't see the positives in there. And that's fucking sad to me. Like I said, I've worked with damaged kids forever. Like, that's what it kills me. Keyboard slacktivists. They don't know shit about this stuff. They don't know anything. They come in, they can try to defend it and everything else. One of these people found it so alarming, some of the stuff that was going on. You know, the Jokelist found it so alarming at one time that they posted about it. They talked about that stuff, and they were supposed to be a pal of that person. They are again now. They got in chats, and they were defending it again. But at one time, they saw a real problem there. And the thing that kills me is all these enablers here. That kind of shit is dangerous. That is absolutely dangerous. Like, if we're speaking real, we're not joking about anything. We're not talking like there's no ha-ha to this. Let's be real about it. That stuff is dangerous. You see problems and you ignore them, and you ignore them, and you ignore them. I mean, these people brought crackheads to their fucking property. People that stole from them. They themselves, that's their own reports. They brought strangers, people they barely knew. Fuck, the woman that brought a stolen trailer up there, the quote-unquote godmother. This person, they said they brought a drug addict, a dangerous person there. Like, how is that? Do you not see a problem with this? Can you not look at that situation outside of the bubble that you've created? Because this isn't Jeremy Hale's verses. Like, speaking real, can you not acknowledge that there's a problem with this kind of stuff? Environmentally, that is fucked up. Most people don't bring crackheads around their kids. But these people, they've created this insular bubble where they're going to backpat anything that goes on. Poor, disabled, indigent. I see all of the fucking descriptors. I've seen them before, though. Again, Amber Heard, oh, poor single mother. That woman cut off a guy's finger and put a cigarette out on his face. But they did the same tactics. And I get tired of these fucking tactics because at the end of the day, people suffer for them. And these people are enablers and they disgust me. Because they do harm. They do real harm. You know? And then they go out, they have the audacity to go out And like I said, they love digging through people's lives and shit, right? Now, if you did that to them, oh shit. When I said that could happen, oh, you know, like I said, game on, motherfuckers. When I said that, that's a bridge too far for them. But they like to do that stuff. Look at what they've done to Jeremy Hale, man. Look what they've done to him. They don't like him making videos and shit. Leave him the fuck alone. It's not hard. But no, instead they want to they're going to bring millions of lawsuits. They're looking at him like a cash cow right now. Like, listen to what they're saying. Pay me. I heard that. I heard that straight up with Bruce talking. They look at him like he's going to be a payday. Because you can go out and you can do your own work and build your own thing. Or like the UI guy said, you can try to ride coattails of people. And I'm not talking about in a positive way. Like if we cover a case that comes up again, you know, 100,000 people came to this channel because of the Johnny Depp case during that trial. Now, that's covering a trial and that rides off of another name, but that's different, you know, because that's what news media or anything else does. You dig up cases, you look at them. These people didn't do that. They inserted themselves into a case. And then they came up with these bizarre theories. Like, it's hilarious to listen to, like, their idea is that Jeremy Hales has this network where he pulls all the strings. Motherfucker, can you, for me... I am too old and too set in my ways to have anybody tell me what to do. That man doesn't pay me, you know? That man doesn't give me clout. I'm talking about a case here. I can talk about any case that's out there. I have enough self-confidence that I feel like I could go out and I trust you all enough that you have followed me into anything that I do. You have supported me, and I mean, I appreciate the shit out of that. I do. We've built this thing together. They keep steamrolling. I feel like we can talk about any case we want to. We don't have to one or the other. But I feel like Jeremy Hales is right in what he's talked about. I think when I interviewed him, he brought evidence. He didn't bring accusations. He brought evidence. That's the difference between an accuser and the difference between a survivor. You may laugh, like some people laugh at that idea. But I tell you, what is a survivor? What is a victim, by the way? Would you say if somebody pulled a pow-pow on you and threatened to end you, would you be a victim? If people started calling you a child rapist, would you be a victim? That guy, you know why? You know why people hate Jeremy? Because he's picked up the pieces and he's managed to find his way to have action, to fight back. Because he hasn't laid down and let people kick dirt in his face. And you know what? Fucking bravo to him. That's my way. Like I said, I monetize haters. I fucking monetize them. I believe in that. And that's what he does. Only his fucking people there, I feel like, can be very dangerous to him. But it's just, I don't know. It's just amazing stuff. Again, I know there's no fucking structure to what we're talking about tonight. I've seen there's so much crazy. And this stuff is going to escalate beyond where it is now. It's going to escalate far beyond it. You mark my words on this. They're going to escalate it. Like I said, I've seen some of the stuff they point at, like Megan Fox. Holy shit, man. Now, Megan doesn't pay attention to it. She doesn't give a fuck. But it's just crazy. Because they're a couple of steps away from trying to put a bullseye on people that she cares about, too. You know? And that's fucked up. She will care about that. That's probably somebody... you probably shouldn't do that to people that are very good at digging up everything and have FOIA requesting and more. But I'm just telling you, it's going to get a lot nastier with these people. I mean, have you seen it? Again, you're going to see people. They're going to try to financially incentivize, but also to victimize people. They try to financially bully. Like people like Bruce, man. You know why DUI guy's not scared of him? Like me. Here, I wanted to tell you this too. I wanted you to understand something. I want you to understand. When, like, for a thumbnail, like, I got the same requests from DUI guy and other people got, you know, the or else. You know, where Bruce is telling us he's gonna sue people. And as part of that, I was already dealing with stuff in my own life. And I was like, I don't have time for this stupid shit. Because typically, now I do, Bruce. Now I do, by the way. You want to add me into some papers? Fuck yourself, buddy. You want to threaten people and financially try to intimidate? Because court is not fun. Most people don't want to deal with that. But some loser that sits online for 9 fucking hours a day and has nothing else to do, of course he's okay with those tactics because he thinks he can bully people. But the thing is that some of us have gotten big enough on this platform thanks to folks like you that are out there that when douchebags like that come after us, see, when they come after like a DJ Radis, or when I talk about smaller channels, I don't mean it insultingly. I mean that these people can intimidate them. When they want to take down a DJ Radis, or when they want to threaten a Shizzy Wisna, they don't feel like they have a safety net. I've been there. I've been threatened at a small channel. The first time I was ever threatened as a small channel, I had under 10,000 subscribers. And that's a scary place because you don't know that if something comes after you, if you're going to be able to be, you know, if you're going to fall or not. But a DUI guy, myself, I fuck them. I'll talk about whatever I want. And like I said, I'm going to dedicate my time to doing this. One of the reasons I'm covering this, I feel that it matters. I feel it's important. But I also feel that people try to fucking bully people off talking about it. And that ain't going to happen. These fucking cowards. I mean, what are they going to do? You can't put that image on the thumbnail. Good luck, Bruce. Like I said, he sent me fucking pictures of Lynette and wanted me to cover them. He sent me 9 fucking pictures in an email just, I don't remember the timeline, but it's within weeks of that. Can't cover that. Don't put it up. By the way, cover this, please. That's a free pass to cover whatever I want. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate that. You know, dipshit. As far as opinions about yourself, man, you tag me on every fucking email there. Again, I would say by your own definitions, where you say that some guy's out there and he's bullying, he's doing all this stuff. Man, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're trying to galvanize people so they'll attack Jeremy Hale? So you've been writing YouTube legal, trying to shut his channel and any channel that disagrees with you down. And, oh my God, man. Like, the stuff they've been up to is madness. I'm going to tell you, like, I can't say Bruce himself, but I'll tell you that people out there, because of this, they've indeed been trying to shut down channels. Multiple ones. I know that for a fact. 100% on that. Like, they're sleazy fucking tag. They can't just talk about a case. Oh, no. We got to try to shut down. Can you imagine that madness, man? And again, this is the same people that beg to come on your channels. The same fucking people. In fact, I really think the reason that Bruce did this is because he's pissed about certain people not covering his instance with the courts. He got himself into trouble. And when people didn't want to talk about that quote-unquote injustice, well, it's just fascinating. Now, he's suing one of them. DUI guy didn't talk about that case with the Hales. He hadn't talked about it in months. This guy comes in, dredges up. He chooses people he's written before to be like, you better take that down. That could be actionable. And then he starts actively recruiting, like I said. come on over. You get 3 times the views if you act like these other people over here. All these other fucking quackpots, all they do, though, is act like total douchebags all the time. But hey. I mean, hey, indeed. People ask me to... When they dug up stuff with... They were talking about his divorce. People were asking me, what are my thoughts on that? I'll tell you what my thoughts are on that, by the way. I'll talk about something. I'm talking about my own life here. If you would have asked me a year ago about my opinion on another person, then I would have reacted so angrily that I would have had some very horrible things to say. Because those are horrible things to go through. You know, relationships, caring about people. When you love somebody and something happens, man. Sometimes, though, you know, like for me, I have a better window on how that works. Not just because I've dealt with that, but also in a year, that emotion in me, it's not, I don't want to hate anything. I want to laugh at things. I'm too old to hate things. It's not healthy, you know. In life, I've felt like that before, but I don't want to be there. But I know what that is. I know that if things end and they fall apart, and unfortunately, family gets caught in it and everything else, we don't know. You don't know. You know what's come up in that? We don't have any idea. But I noticed that these folks that, again, they complain about everything and its mother. They certainly didn't mind going out and, again, Jeremy Hale's life, everybody, they were like, oh, good, that's okay. Right? Where's the line? You just gonna dig up some fucking random people's lives that don't agree with you too? I was like, man, what scumbags. I learned in the last year, like I say, I've been able to put anger aside and remember that, you know, these are people you know, my kids, my family, I love these people, you know, and even if things came in, even if nothing else works out with anybody, you still love them, and you still do love them. But, you know, if things don't remedy, if you can't get that in your mind, and that shit turns to hate. That's the worst fucking hate. It's not just hate. It's disappointment. It's anger. I mean, there's so many emotions in there. The people asked me what I thought about that. I was like, man, I have a really unique fucking viewpoint on it, but it's not one I really want. That's why I didn't want to talk about this situation. Been there. You know, dealt with that kind of stuff. And like I said, right now, all of that is just sitting because... You know, sometimes the courts are not, the courts don't do the best for kids either. You know who gets broken in all those situations, unfortunately? Kids. They don't understand it. They don't get what happened. And they will hate somebody in that process. Now, I'm not saying... did or didn't happen. I don't know their relationship. I don't want to... That's so far from fucking Otter Creek. I mean, what the fuck does that have to do with Otter Creek anyway? It didn't. It didn't. You know why? Here's the thing, too. You know why these people... you know why Lynette would want to bring that up, I imagine? Because her family brought her up. Now, what's fascinating about that is that her family started approaching people because she went after them. One of her kids, when they would try to live stream, she would go after them, their own statements. They were trying to wreck their lives still. Like, I can't even fathom that idea. As a parent, I can't imagine like that idea. These two are not the same. They just pretend. I'm sure any of these lines in their life, if that stuff comes up, you notice how one of them flipped out when Jeremy brought up some stuff about them. Oh my God, I'm going to sue him. Oh, so it's a line then. So there is behavior that's too much in your mind. Well, why do you engage in? It's just like the idea of getting sued. You notice one of them backed down when they thought they were going to get sued. Straight up. And I'm telling you too, these people don't understand this. They think that getting involved in litigation is going to be fun. Like me, I don't worry about it. Like if Bruce again, if he wants to bring up folks, I feel like I have enough support that people will help me, and I'm not gonna. It'll turn it into content, and we'll have fun times. I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, I can recoup and not lose my shirt on it. But these fucking little channels out there, the people like that are having Bruce on and stuff, you realize that when you get into a litigation back and forth, you know, that guy's drawing you into something that may potentially cost you tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you have that? Because that's the genie that you wanted to uncork. And they laughed and applauded it too. They were okay with that. They're okay with throwing it at, you know, to Hales, throwing it at Radis, throwing it at that DUI guy, threatening to throw it at myself or Megan. When it rolls back to them, I watched one of them fold. And I don't even have anger toward them for that. I understand. I thought that was a smart move. He was like, yo, he didn't have to stop covering that, by the way. You know, you should never, I don't think anybody should ever fucking feel like they should be backed off of something. But I think their own shit that they wanted done to Jeremy Hales, they got a little taste of it. And they were like, oh shit, this is bad. Yeah, it's bad. And it's stupid. And you know what? If you think it's frivolous, it doesn't fucking matter if it's frivolous. You got to go to court and prove it. How much money do you think? Like I said, do you think old Brucey's going to defend every one of you? The DUI guy said, you know, he created an LLC. Why did he create an LLC after all those years? Because he's trying to protect his money. Because if he loses, he's gonna be like, oh, that's my business. You gotta separate it from my personal. He can fold up his tent and go home. How many of them have that? He wants to open this Pandora box. But also, I mean, they're opening all kinds of them. You know, again, they target families, dude. For me, it's wild, too. YouTube's very eye-opening, anyway. You have to get to the point where you're like stone, man. You want to get past 100,000 subscribers, you have to be like fucking stone. I don't care if you cover Mario Brothers or you cover court cases or whatever. You have to, because there are crazy people out there all the time. I don't care if you make dance TikToks, you know, whatever. You deal with crazy people. And some people, like I said, you get to a big enough point. Like again, Jeremy Hales, he has enough backing. Look at how much money he spent on that one action. One action. I mean, that man is more money. I can tell you, too, you have no idea what courts cost. You know? You want a real lawyer, you know, you're going to pay. I mean, you're going to start it, like assistants and stuff. You can start at 200 up. I mean, you're getting, if you have multiple lawyers that you bring on, it's going to get even more expensive. They have no idea. I think they're going to pick a fight with all these folks. They're going to get themselves sued. But they also, I mean, they've opened themselves up. Like the problem is all of this behavior escalates too. And they definitely are escalating behavior. It's not like laughing at somebody because they're stupid or fat. You know, or like I said, sound like Grimace or fucking remind me of Gollum from Lord of the Rings. I mean, those are insults. It takes a real small person that can't take an insult. Very small person. It's always their go-to. These clowns, you know, they always have that go-to, though. They go after people's families. They always do. But what they did, like I said, with Jeremy and them, like Jeremy's, the stress level, it has to be unreal. It does. Like I remember, so in 2019, when my second daughter was going to be, you know, when she was, they found a GoFundMe somebody had set up. So in 2019, here's a bunch of crazy. This is the first time I ever dealt with false allegation cases. This was the anime stuff. A bunch of these people found out later my wife was pregnant, and there, you know, she was online. I know. I mean, she wants to be online. Nobody thinks about how crazy these people. You can't tell people how crazy these people are. These people were trying to push her to the point that they would say openly they would hope that she would miscarry. Like that's how crazy people are. That's how people target your families. And they hope they can stress and horrify you. Now that's a different situation than the Hales, of course. But again, what do you think it does to a person? If I call a person a child arpist, that is the worst thing that you can call a person. It is. It's the worst thing you can do. In a little place that has 100+ people, what do you think that might motivate in somebody? What kind of behavior do you think that might motivate? Because for me, you know, one of the things I had to acclimate to is when people are talking like crazy nonsense, you have to always be on your guard, though. You don't know what a crazy. I had people come to my community, this little community I live in. They came here, went to the sheriff's department, tried to weaponize it at one time. In fact, one of the clips that I play is about that sometimes. Let me see. Let me see if I still have that in here. Give me a minute. Let me check. It's one of my intro clips, but I haven't yet. This one, check this out. It's only 3 seconds. See here.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Yeah, talk to my mayor. I mean, these people are crazy. People are crazy. They're fucking crazy. They went to my mayor, went to the sheriff's department way back when, you know, because they want to make you fear. And one of the things, like I said, that some of the crazy shit people say are some of, I've dealt with some of the same statements like a Jeremy Hales has had thrown that way. Like crazy people have pointed out. Just a minute, I got a kid coming down here. Second here. Hey kiddo, you cannot be down here for today, okay?
Yeah, sorry, I just thought I'd...
1 second. Sorry about that. I had a return for a back scratcher apparently.
Yeah, you're the refund center.
Yeah, I'm a refund center. I was like, well, what's the problem? I was like, hey, I'm covering something today, and you know, there can't be any eruptions for this one because I want them to hear this stuff, you know, and of course that doesn't work. I was like, only come and tell me like if there's emergencies tonight, because I'm going to be talking about something that's very serious. I don't want y'all to hear anything about it, because ultimately, you know, this goes back to the Jeremy thing with when they were dredging up stuff with his kid and stuff. Oh, Jesus, man! Like, what's he supposed to do in that instance? You know. Because I'm sure he has a specific point of view with everything else, but in that instance, I mean, they're trying to weaponize your children. It's nuts. But anyway, I was talking about crazy people. You know, one of the things with Jeremy, they call him again a child arpist. That will motivate somebody to give you a fatal lead injection, let's say. Then they took away his rights to having a firearm. They took him away for a long time. They started talking about him being some kind of mom. Like, he lives out in the middle of Podunk. I've lived in nowhere for a long time. You know, I live smack in the middle of nowhere. And I'll tell you, people, you can motivate somebody to do something terrible to another person. You know, that idea of vigilante justice may well exist out there in the nothing. And he'd have to worry about his safety there. He has to worry about his safety with the people working or living across the street from him. He's had the fucking police departments tell him if you don't record it, it doesn't exist. And I saw people trying to argue that that's not what they said. And I was like, did you not watch the stuff with Wes? You know, the one where John Cook allegedly pulled his pow-pow on a child? Did you not watch all that? Because that's what the police said. And they've said it other times too, but they made it very clear that's the way they think. If it's not on video, it doesn't exist. And if you take video, you're not in fear for your life. So, oh, the absurdity. I don't know, though. When they dug up that stuff with me, they dug up, like I said, there was a GoFundMe. It was a year old. And it understandably said some not nice things. I did not respond to that publicly. Because a year ago, I even then I could understand, you know, like I said, addiction's rough. You say some horrible things in the mix when things are going on in life. Hey, you know, in your personal, when things break down in a personal life, people say horrible shit, you know. And there was a lot of horrible stuff that happened before that. But that's the past, you know, and I didn't respond to that when it came up because it didn't serve anything. I know that my response is, I know that I can talk to 500,000 people. When I post on Twitter, I talk to 155,000 people potentially. That's how many people follow me on there. And on here, we live somewhere around, I'll say between 380 and 400, you know, because I'll go up, go down. If I don't chase the algorithm, you know, so that's about where I'm at. And that's fine. I do good with that stuff. But they dug up statements from a year ago. And like I said, I didn't respond to them or talk about that then because it would have done damage. Now I feel that the person that said all of that, again, they've gone out, they've tried to put that stuff, all the addiction, everything, out of their life. They're trying to make good with everything that's there. They tell their story again. You know, they go to meetings, tell their story. I mean, they've done everything they're supposed to do in it. And it wouldn't have done any good. It wouldn't have helped. In fact, it would have derailed any good. But the reason I'm talking about it today is because I'm afraid these people will derail something, or they'll try to. I, in fact, don't think if they contacted the same person, I don't think they would say the same thing a year later, personally. But, I mean, who knows? You never know. But I have the gut feeling that they would not. And I'm afraid that they're going to try to derail any positive gains they had. They're going to try to make contact with them, you know. And they're going out and they're trying to be, again, forward. They're trying to focus on themselves and making themselves better. And that's fucking horrible, man. It's horrible. Again, it doesn't bother me to talk about stuff. I talk about everything I talk about everything online. I don't care to talk about myself anymore. I used to not before my name came out. By the way, one of these clowns fucking they love to bring my real name up in it. You know, if you want to find my real name, fucking just look online. You know? I mean, shit. If that really bothers, I mean, again, you're working off doxxers, you know? Because people will dig into that. Hell, when the people dox that, they didn't just dig up my name. They went and they found they found obituaries Like, I mean, people are crazy. They found obituaries. They used to send my stepfather's obit to me every day, on Twitter. I was like, man, what a bunch of crazy fucking people. Because they hope they can get under your skin. So these people can't do anything to bother me. Like my name, like I don't know my own name. Sure I do. But I think it's funny. Like people like Bruce, you can tell. Like he reminds me of some of these fucking mainstream cowards that come up, and they do the same they do the same tactics that Bruce does. When Bruce writes, he doesn't use he uses my actual name. Like, ooh, I know who you are. Fuck you, I know who you are too. I mean, it's so bizarre there. It is. And these people too, you would think they would have some sensitivity because everyone has loved ones. Everyone does. And you would think they wouldn't want to dig up people's loved ones. Because again, when they escalate to that, for myself, I think that's out of bounds. Like I don't want to go there myself. But you would think they would appreciate their own loved ones enough not to escalate, because once you can't cork that again. People see your behavior and they feed off it and they model off of it. And while a person like myself wouldn't do that, my listeners, I would not tell them to do anything like that again. Don't make contact with these people. Don't bother them at all because they're scumbags. Fuck them. But let's just make fun of them. It's fun like that. But they will encourage people to go to that level on them. They will bring in another element. There's another element altogether out there. It's not a Hale's versus. Oh no, other elements will see that and they'll cue on them. They'll hope it'll make them mad and they'll escalate further. Ugh, it's so dumb, man. Anyway, I know I've been all over the place for the last hour. I didn't know how I would address that because, like I said, I'm not addressing this in anger. I'm going to talk about my own life. In fact, I'm proud of somebody for going and getting their life together. You never know. Like, I've watched people in mental health lose themselves to drug-induced psychosis. I've seen it. It breaks people. That's the worst thing. I've seen it. It's horrible. I've seen people like functional, great people. Professionals. I've seen them broken. It breaks their mind. But addiction also, it breaks people down, and it's sometimes hard to get out of the clasp of it, It's very, it's rough. So when I talk about that, again, I never wanted to talk about it because I didn't want to derail someone. But I feel like, once you get mailings from 60 or 70 people, this stuff takes on a life of its own. And like I said, sooner or later, they would try to make contact. They did it to Jeremy. So they would try to make contact with her as well. And I don't think that's where she lives. But I'm afraid that, like I say, they're nasty enough that they don't care what wreckage. They didn't care what wreckage they caused to Jeremy's kid. They don't care. They don't care what damage they caused. They absolutely didn't care. And they wouldn't care about the damage that they would cause there too. I don't know. I have, like I said, I've worked with kids for a long time. I mean, if you want to know anything about me, you can ask. There's some things, I'm not going to tell you where I work or anything like that. I'm not going to tell you that kind of stuff. But man, I've been pretty open about doxing after you get past the initial horror of it. And you get numb to the CPS and all the other crazy people will point at you. I mean, it's free. Like I said, you can find me. Now, people say crazy shit about you, They accuse you of all kinds of stuff. I've never been arrested. I've never been in trouble for anything. So there were crazy. I had this guy saying that I was internationally wanted at one time. That's not true. I'm not wanted by anyone. You know, the media would have caught that right off the bat. I do have some really good spicy quotes in the media, though. Yeah, over the last 2 years, I do have some pretty funny ones there. I found out like the media, they wanted you, you know, they adopt us. You never know how they're going to fall, but they don't adopt the truth on something. They adopt a side. They always do that, and they want to make the other person a villain, much like these people want to make Jeremy Hales. They talk about it being a reality drama, you know, and the bad neighbors, they're the villain. No, they want Jeremy Hales to be a villain. In fact, like that letter last night we were reading from Brucey. Again, he's saying, like, people like myself. Again, I'm a professional in my own life. Like YouTube, I carry 2 jobs for my kids. Like I appreciate you guys where you support channel, and you know, again, I do this. It's a job though. I make sure my kids can, like, it's another job. But I love this. I wouldn't say I would give one up or the other, but if I had to pick one, I love what we do here. I love this thing we build. You know, but these people, they also try to deny, like again, they've been trying to flag down businesses and stuff. Like, again, my stuff that I do this because, not just because, again, I like it. I wouldn't want to give it up, period. But I do it for the betterment of my kids, too. What I make buys them a better life. In fact, after a year, so I have not taken time away from doing things here for a year. But on Sunday, now I will probably still live stream. Okay, I'm just saying off and on, because YouTube is a cruel mistress on that. It never lets you have time off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Nashville, which is not terribly far away, but it's far enough. And I'm going to, you know, shift my environment because of everything that I talked about before. I want it to feel like a new place. Everything, again, has been calm in my life lately. You know, what I'm talking about, this is not going to stir up or do anything crazy either. You know, this isn't going to cause problems, like I said. But I'm going to do that. After a year, you know, I have some vacation from regular days. I'm going to take a minute off, you know. But I'll still probably live stream. You have to for YouTube. YouTube doesn't let you stop. That's another reason Jeremy covers like he does. Like, people don't understand YouTube. Like, these people that just started YouTube, they don't get it. You know, like Jeremy Hales uploads a video every day? Because if you don't upload something every day, YouTube will punish you for it. It does. It punishes you. And they have no idea what it's like to build something. Like this channel, it took me, I can't remember if again, you look at the start date, it says 2012, but this thing was just a repository for videos. But it didn't have anything that was being done. You know, it was just here. But in around 2017 to 2018, somewhere in there, I can't remember the exact when, I started YouTubing. And it was work. It was a lot of work. And in order to build up to a point, you do stuff daily. Now, these folks are going to realize, you know, they may build up a few thousand people, but they're not going to be able to cover Jeremy Hales forever. And the Bruce emails that promise them lawsuits forever. Man, if Bruce loses a big lawsuit and he ends up having to pay out his ass because he's fucking around, do you think he's going to do that? And do you think he's going to defend them? Suddenly, if he gets them on the hook for a lawsuit, like that, they should worry. Again, these words will be lost on these people. But do you think that guy's going to defend you? Or do you think when it reaches at his pocket, he's going to defend you? No way. No way. He's going to let you hang for it. And it's going to be fascinating to watch. Man, there are 1,800 of you here. Again, normally I don't like bringing... I don't like YouTube fights. I don't like fighting with other creators. Now, I'm not saying I'm human, and sometimes I react to stuff. Now, if you put a bullseye on my kids, fuck yourself. You know, those people, they know what they did. Fuck them. They can cry and whine. Like I said, I saw one of them. You know who you are, fat boy. I saw you whining about it. That mean old tug. He said he's going to spend a month because he's bored. No, that's not what I said. I said if you put a bullseye on my kids and you go after my family, that I will spend a fucking month dedicated to you people. I will. Because I'm the kind of person that'll do that. Because I'm bored. But also, maybe I'm just vindictive like that. If they want to cry and whine about it, that's their business. But they need to realize, like they were told. You know? So cry harder. Cry harder. I mean, like I said, they want to talk about, they want to say we're shitty YouTubers or anything. They want to laugh. I saw them trying to meme Megan. Oh my God, these people. You know what's really bad is they're not good at it. The worst part is they're not good at it. They're boring, dude. God, they're boring. They're so fucking boring. Oh, they don't sound good on the microphone. It's awful. Like I listen to that, I think, God, get a soundboard, please. Soundboard will regulate. You realize StreamYards has little controls in it. It regulates your sound. You've got to be using StreamYards, right? Like we all almost do it, or Streamlabs or something, right? It has a built-in soundboard. Why do you sound so bad? I mean, good God, one of them really does sound like, I mean, seriously, when I see them, this is what I think. Look, let me show you. Just give me a second. Give me a second here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in case, like, you were born out of the era here, because you might not know. When I see one of them, or when I hear one of them, what I think, like I said, is Grimace. Now, if you don't know who Grimace is for some reason, this is what I'm thinking when I hear, like, one of them speaking. I think, this is who they fucking sound like to me. They sound like this. And I'm like, this is not a good YouTube sound. Sound better. AI, fuck, I make AI music all the time. Like, AI your shit. I don't know, man, but you sound awful. One of you puts me to fucking sleep all the time. I swear to God, man, if I ever needed to fall asleep, I'd listen to Bruce. But unfortunately, he live streams with all these other people. I got Bruce fucking put me to sleep. The other one sounded like Grimace over here. I don't know what to do. Sounds all over the place. It sounds awful. But if that's what they want to do, they want to put together a half-ass fucking show. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not the greatest professional outlet ever, but come on, man. I am a professional. Grimace. Oh my God, dude. Fucking hamburger over there. I mean, really, though. I want your comeback for that, by the way. Oh my God, he sounds like a rube. He's country. He's probably inbred. What are you gonna do, man? I'm fucking stoned here, bitches. Like, what are you gonna do to me? Nothing. So, of course, you gotta put that bullseye on fucking family and kids, because you can't hurt me. That's what they do. They always try to hurt the people you love, man. Because they're small, petty fucking people. Is why I don't like people like that. Ultimately, why I don't open my platform, because you know why I didn't open my platform to Bruce? Because when I heard him, I thought, man, that is a petty little person right there. That's a small person. And his actions say that to me. I mean, you think about this. The one guy that lets him on the platform, Veteran Nation. Veteran Nation lets him on. Lets him talk about whatever. And then, I don't believe he sent this, by the way, to Veteran Nation. Again, I could be misremembering, but the way I remember this is, I'm going to pull this up while I'm talking, just to make this point. Again, I know you've seen it. So I'm not reviewing it or anything. I'm just saying this, okay? I find out because Bruce tags other people into stuff, but he doesn't send it necessarily to that person. For example, when I talked about Travis, and I talked about the stuff that was aimed at Travis, he tagged in, I believe it was a Veterination. I believe that's who it was. So he sends things to just random people. And Veterination finds out the next day, after he lets this coward on, that his good faith conversation, he invited him back. He was like, I'd have him on, even though you could tell that he was annoying him. You could see that. You could see it on display. He told him he'd have him on again. Because Veterination's that kind of guy. And props to him, by the way. I want to give him love for that. You know what? He's a nicer person than I am. You know why? Because I'm not a nice person. I don't have a soundboard here, like set up with that. But, holy God. What happens? Bruce tries to flag him down. But like I said, I asked Bruce. So Bruce was in a live stream with Megan Fox. Like, he was in the chat. He was answering questions and stuff. I don't know if you all didn't see this. I don't want to know this, even if you did. I mean, this is my point of view on it. He's talking, he's answering questions, he's talking in the chat, he's blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, how many channels have you tried to flag down, Bruce? Since he wants to talk, I'd like to know how many and the names of them. I thought that's a fair question. Because again, here are two. Like, this is a real screw up. See, Jeremy, he talks about there's no proof that anyone has ever tried to harm his channel. And what I keep thinking about, you know, they're talking about there's no proof that they've tried to cost him or hurt his business. They've not tried to interfere. Really? Because when I read that paragraph, it looks like it to me. Legal support, they've obviously told him there's nothing they're going to do. So what do? They keep flooding them. They keep trying to interfere with the man's business. And again, this is Michelle Preston. This is her lawyer. Admittedly, he's writing letters to the fucking media saying it. So this is Michelle Preston. Your lawyer does shit, that's you. Now tell me again they're not interfering with his business. Tell me again they're not doing damage. How many other people do this to, Bruce? Maybe I'll write YouTube legal and ask myself. Maybe I'll mention the channels you're doing this with. I have a thing that's called an MCN. It's a multi-channel network. Now, some of them are scams, okay? But I'm going to tell you about what I have to do to operate on YouTube because of people like Bruce and other fucking cowards out there. I pay a place that if these people false flag my channel, and I've had to do this before, they can help. They don't do something, they don't pull strings for you. What they do is they talk to a higher up. And they're like, look, this channel's in good standing. They've been doing this, that, the other. They're talking about this, and these crazy people are trying to take their channel down. I have to pay them. I pay them like 10% of what I make, which is a lot. It's a lot of money. It's the only way I can operate on this platform. Or, you know, and that's crazy. It's worth it. It's worth it to know that these people are not going to shut you down this way. Because people like Bruce are the reason that has to happen. Because like I said, they're cowards. They can't make their point online in 9 hours of live streaming a day sometimes. So what do? Even with good faith, they try to shut people down. I'm not saying Bruce is the one that's contacting families. I do want to make that clear. I'm not saying that. I haven't pointed my finger at any specific person, but I'll know who you are. I'll find out. I'm definitely going to find out. I'm going to find out who the fuck, which one of you. I know certain people, like I said, you know, when they want to throw your name out there, why do they do that for a person like me? Because they want to make sure that other people will look you up and they'll try to do something. So I know a few of them that have done that. So again, They're curious about who I am. Cool. I'm curious about who they are too then. I didn't care. They're, like I said, they're YouTubers. But after what they did, I am curious who they are now. What a bunch of jokes, though. Like, you have to be a small person to act like these people do. You know why I like Jeremy Hale? Because he makes small people like Bruce mad, too. I think that's funny. Fucking ambulance chasers out there hoping that they can feed off of the lifeblood of a successful person. What do we call those? Oh, yeah, we call them parasites. That's right. That's what parasites do. You parasite, Bruce. Because you're talking about, you know, making all this money. You said, oh, pay me. Pay me. Thumbnail lawsuit. Don't mention my client. Sorry, man. You know what's funny about that lawsuit right there? It allows everybody and their mother to talk about it. And actually, Brucey hasn't thought this either. You know, if any... he may be able to get some junk media to jump on the bandwagon there, but it's going to be really hard. Because when they look at the insanity that has come out of Otter Creek, a lot of media is going to be like, holy shit. Like, to defend her, you know, they can use every buzzword in the world. But my God, when a mayor of a place stands up, again, Madam Mayors are very, like, you can tell she's, listen to her. Like, listen to her for 30 minutes. These people that go after her, you can't listen to that lady and be like, that's a nice lady. Like, she's trying to help her freaking neighbors out. Like, she believes, you know, she's a believer. She's not religious. She's a believer. You know, I don't like calling people religious because that has a certain meaning to some people. But a believer, you know, somebody that believes in doing good and they try to help out. You can tell people they're not just good people. They believe in it. They believe that, you know, they believe in faith. The faith sets it down. That's the reason you do it. They believe in it in their lives, and they try to help these people. And they got the same type of nasty that Jeremy Hale's got. And of course, you know, Madam Mayor became a target for them too. And for this insane conspiracy. Like I said, this guy shops this conspiracy, though, that we're all somehow puppets of Jeremy Hale's. I find that to be the craziest fucking thing I have ever heard. Like, it's lunacy. But I can, when the guy is writing and tagging in, I've talked about him live, saying that this guy's a scumbag. You know, why would you send me letters? Oh, to make sure that you see it. But he tagged in his last letter. I'll read the part about the conspiracy here, too. But he tried tagging in Law 360. He put in that the 2pod. He put in, I don't know who fucking Dave is. I don't really care. You know. But he put in myself, Megan, Shizzy Wiznut. You know why he puts in, you know what really tells you that he's like one of those little mad people? Because Shizzy Wiznut, so I pulled this up before. I was mentioning the response that Shizzy Wiznut gave him. See, his first response got met with mockery. Shizzy Wiznut made fun of him. And he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't take it. So, if you look at it, like I said, this response, I'm not wanting to read over it, but just remember, like this response, he had written him and told him, oh, you jumped on the gravy train, you're doing all of that, blah, blah, blah. Well, when Shizzy Wiznut told him, basically, fuck off, Bruce, it tags in Shizzy Wiznut into this letter too, because he's a small person, and he adds him to the conspiracy. You know, I mean, it's crazy because he was like, that umbrella guy, Megan Fox, and Shizzy Wiznut, you know, because he told him no. He rejected him. No means no, Bruce, by the way. He's not going to do anything for you. Are among a number of channels that act as extensions of What the Hells by covering its vague reality story, thereby also profiting from cyberbullying, harassment, invasion of privacy. I can't read it like him, by the way. If I read it like him, it would be like this. Invasion of privacy, humiliation and mocking. It hurts my soul. I feel like I'm insulting you guys. So I had a little spice because he's never been that excited in his life. I mean, my Lord. I don't know if he's ever, well, maybe he's had a little, person-on-person action, but I don't even think he can, like, work on it. He's probably like, this is very exciting. Oh, yes. Allegedly. Wait a minute. I got off point again. Sorry. Okay, anyway. Humiliation and mocking of the bad neighbors, who are actually private individuals whose lives have been destroyed by this. They justify it as covering a public interest story under the skies of journalism and parody, but is nothing more than a cheap, lazy content to make money at the expense of helpless, poor people who are easy targets and whose lives have become content fodder for these channels. Now, he's alleged, like I said, in other letters or other items like that. He's also alleged, like, again, Jeremy pulls our strings. Now, I like Jeremy. I made that clear. You know, he has shown me nothing but respect. He's never, if I've asked for anything I want to see, he would provide it. He also, a really telling thing about somebody, like when you're interviewing them, is what they tell you not to talk about. You know, there are certain things that a person can't talk about legally. There's certain things that they don't want to brag. You know what Jeremy didn't want to talk about? There was one thing. He didn't want to bring up money. Now, you know why a person doesn't bring up money? It's not because they don't want you to talk about what they earn, because he's talked about money. It's because, like, people like myself, I don't talk about what I earn. You know why? Because it's insulting. My granddaddy taught me not to do that. As a young boy, you don't do that, because if you're doing well, then you know you're doing well. But not everybody around you is. And you want to elevate people. You don't want to make them feel like shit. And if you're not doing well, then do better. That's the only thing. He didn't want to brag about money. Every question I've had, nothing was off limits. Nothing. Which is that one thing. And again, I respect that, the money thing, because again, that's something I don't get into. I find it to be tactless. It's very gauche, you know. I got into a fight with the mainstream media over that very topic, you know, because they wanted to know how much money I earned off of covering the debt thing. And I was like, that, you know, I earned, let me see, how much? None of your fucking business. That's none of your business, you know. This is not, again, people who have to brag, well, that just says something about you. I mean, try to go out and do good, you know, again, but nothing. If I've asked for proof of claims or anything else, I've had that. And I've got to formulate my own opinion. I read her legal arguments. I read her handwritten legal arguments before we had somebody come in there and try to filter it and try to push this poor old indigent ladies thing. I read what they were really doing, what they admitted to. One of the reasons I cover in the deposition is because it locks it in and it tells you exactly what was said, exactly what's admitted to, and the lies. You get to see them. You get to see them change real time. Sometimes in this same, like, breath or two breaths, you get to see stuff change up. And that stuff's fascinating. And they say that they're private individuals. They're actually limited purpose public figures. That's one of those wonderful law terms. I'm a limited purpose public figure. You know, if you talk about me, am I going to sue you? Probably not. You know, I don't want to waste my time with that. Plus the people, like these people that take it, you know, like on the other side of it, what are you going to get from them anyway? You know, if I have disposable income, you know, I'd rather buy a platinum grill or something, you know, before I would spend that money that way. I mean, seriously, I'd rather like buy body armor. I'd rather buy some paint to watch dry. Because ultimately, what would I get from them? You know, pocket limp and broken dreams. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But they like suing people. You know? I just finished, we covered another lawsuit where the lawyer in that was promising every one of us that covered it they were going to sue us to oblivion. They were going to, you know, they were going to break one YouTuber, Dave Neal. They were going to break him. Again, he's not involved. We're talking about this. I'm just mentioning like these crazy lawyers. But you know what? Bruce, he proved that he's, at least that guy, I thought, that guy's got to be the worst lawyer ever. And Bruce was like, hold my mic, hold my beer, whatever. Holy shit. Oh. Anyway, I don't know. If anybody has any questions for me, though, if you want to know something about the, again, the subject I talked about, you are free to ask it. Hell, you can ask it right now. If I see it, I'll answer it. You know, but if it's something, you know, there are certain things that I don't cover, but they will not control the narrative on it. I learned that a long time ago too. I had this crazy fucking person that found pictures of my kids before I ever talked about them, and they posted pictures of my kids. They kept posting them, and I was like, holy shit. So I started talking about, you know, my own kids. If something came up, I don't know how I feel about. I don't really want to post pictures of my kids, but I don't want other people doing it. I would rather be me. So, you know, I would rather them not create false narratives. So, what's the best Star Wars movie? I'm personally in favor of Empire. But I saw that as a kid. You know, with those AT-ATs rolled out, man, stomping around. Hale to the yes. I mean, we get a monster in the snow. We get bounty hunters. When I was a kid, bounty hunters were the best thing ever. So, I mean, that's always been my favorite, personally. You know, I've always loved Empire. There's an awful Facebook page I stumbled onto thinking it was What the Hells. Yeah, that's their fake page. That's the people that like posting this stuff, you know? Buy me Brucey, I'll hold my suspenders. Indeed. Like I said, the people that do that, they want to propagate a narrative. Because like I said, there were allegations in there, like, I'm not going to rehash some of the stuff. But, again, they were stated in anger. When people are angry and they hurt, they try to hurt you. And some people know how to hurt you. The people that you care about, they also know how to hurt you. And if things fall apart, you know, or I don't even want to say fall apart. If a person is dealing with their own inner conflicts, sometimes they lash out. Clarity comes later on when they're like, yeah, you know, my life, I see where I was before. But in that moment, you know, there were a couple of statements about kid-wise. Nothing like horrible. I mean, there were, I consider them horrible statements because they dealt with my kids. Like, you know, I was withholding my kids and some other thing like that. And, you know, that wasn't the case, you know. I was just making sure that they were okay during that time. And you hear them. They're happy, you know. And again, when I say that, like I said, I feel like I need to clarify this 1,000,000 times. person there, my wife there, she, I mean, she's their mom. I want her to be in their lives. I just want to make sure that it's okay. I would want that if it were me. I would want somebody to do that. If I went down a bad rabbit hole, I've seen people like YouTubers do it. I've seen some people that I really liked go down some bad places. That's also why, in other cases, I'm not going to name a name with this or anything. We might draw an inference. But where I've seen people have problems. That's why I don't bury people either. I try not to. There are certain things that will bury a person, Like, I'm not going to, if somebody did certain things, you know the line. But if they have problems themselves, they create, like if they can't take care of themselves, they can't take care of other people. And like you in that place, you step up. That's your job. Shouldn't even be a job. I even hate to call it a job. Like I said, as a dad, that is my responsibility. My kids are the most important thing there. That's why people aim at them. You'll see it, like if you follow the channel long enough, it's happened before. It's why I'm also, like when I'm covering this, I'm not yelling and screaming or anything. Because I've seen this before. It's just, like I said, it's a sad indictment of these people. Because no matter what, the case changes. But the crazy people don't. They never do. Are they complaining that NBC, CBS, ABC, etc., I'm just going to say etc., make money? No. Actually, I saw that. Okay, so the Wall Street, the Washington Post did a hit piece at one time on myself. They were complaining about money made. Now, the person that wrote that actually lied about myself and another YouTuber. They said that they reached out for contact, and they didn't. They lied. Now, the Washington Post tried to ghost that statement. They got caught. It made national news at the time because myself and Legal Bites, again, they're not covering this. I'm just noting something that happened in the past. They wanted statements about money. They wanted to do that, and they lied. They got caught. So they put out an even nastier hit piece later. And no, none of these places, they don't look at them like if Law and Crime come. In fact, what's fascinating about the Hale's thing when they're talking about Jeremy making money, these fucking people are monetizing this. They sit online and they try to monetize it. Like Bruce himself admitted in his email to Shizzy Wiznut is fascinating because what he admits there, it's more telling than anything. He was saying, Shizzy, when you talked about this, you had like 300 views, but when you talked about it, you got thousands, or I think 13,000 he brought up. Now, that's an admission of public interest, first of all, but beyond that, he said that other place that he loves to sit on all day, they now get 3 times the views. 3 times the views with it. So they're admitting like they're out there, and get yours, baby. I don't care. I complained about that. Hell, I don't think Jeremy Hales would really complain about that. If they wanted to go in and say, I don't believe this person 100%, they wanted to believe the other person. I don't think that's the complaint there. I think the issue has been like most of us, like most of you in the chat. I'm not gonna say everyone because I don't know who's in the chat, but I would say most of us. Like anybody that's a regular here, all of you that are quote-unquote normal people. What I mean by normal is that you have a line in the sand, an imaginary line. And you think, that's not crossable. I would never do that. And we think everybody's like that. This is something I used to suffer from. I used to think people wouldn't target a kid, for example, or try to, ruin a person's sobriety. because I wouldn't do that. But that's an imaginary, self-imposed line. And some of these folks do not have that problem. They don't have it at all. I imagine, like I said, they'll try to dig up everything in its mother. They won't find, again, like the situation like that was like, man, that, what really disturbed me when they dug up those statements is I was like, that situation, me having my kids and stuff, that doesn't make me look bad. Like, if you wanted to make me look, again, go with the narratives from the fucking media. Again, they're not true, but go with them. If you want to call me an istophobe, you want to say that I hate, my channel is majority female audience, But they say, and the reason I bring that up is, they're oh my God, you don't like certain kind of, you don't just listen and believe, so therefore you're a sexist. Well, if they want to go with that, it's not true, but at least maybe they could make somebody mad. It would maybe solidify their position. They wanted to call you, any kind of phobe. I mean, that also, I'm so numb to that, it doesn't even matter. None of that even means anything anymore. But nah, some people got to go farther. They got to go much farther. And again, it won't stop here. Like, it really disturbs me in that. But when I was thinking about why would someone do that, when they look at it, again, when you look at all of that stuff, that doesn't make me really look bad. So what would they want with that? Oh, well, they would want to cause somebody that I care about, people that I care about, problems. Like I said, that's a bridge too far. That is. It's crazy when you warn people too. I always like how they cry about it afterwards. He said he would dedicate his time to me. I said, there's a line. There's a line. If you want to cross that line, if you want to be curious about me, I'll be curious about you. I'll be very curious. I think it's fair. I don't want to be curious. Like, these people, they don't matter to me. I have a mental picture of who these people are, and that's enough. It's funny to me. Like I said, when I think about Grimace speaking to melatonin, that makes me laugh. I think it's funny. When I think about scumbag that'll target children, hanging out with other scumbags, again, I'm not saying that's those two. Although, like I said, one of them, there's only one reason to bring my name up. It's either intimidate, they're hoping for intimidation, or they want other people to, again, dig into you. Like I said, fair is fair. Curiosity, it goes both ways. Stupid people. I just want to laugh at stupid things. Gross, man. All right, I know I've talked about that for a minute there. I'm going to read some super chats and say, I'm reading your comments first. Yeah, here, like, listen to this. I think this is a good comment here. B says, I feel like no one is taking the issue with John Cook seriously. Focus should be on him being around the child. Have you heard anything about his pew-pew case? No, I've not heard the updates on that or anything so far, but it's not just that. I mean, there's allegations. Again, the allegations about John Cook. Again, you would think, like, again, people, they want to build this, like I said, insular bubble, or they don't want to hear anything. But it wasn't just a firearm. Again, it started out, the first time I ever heard of Cook, I heard about him from Lynette Preston. I heard her statements about him. She said terrible things about him. She made accusations about him. She continued to. Right from go, people like Jeremy, too. Jeremy, Lord, I mean, all these just people out there, Madam Mayor, anybody that's talked about this, it would, I mean, they've said right from go. She said horrible things about him. He's not coming with us, And she made multiple statements about him. Then you have the other accusations. There's a disturbing accusation in this too. Okay, I want you to really, since we're talking real right here, I want somebody to explain to me how you ignore this. So those 18-year-olds, when they filed the inappropriate touch filing, you know what they said in there? They didn't just say that he inappropriately touched that person, which is bad enough. They said that it wasn't reported for a month because the other person that is involved in litigation told them not to report that. That's what they allege. Now, that is a horrifying thing, because if you have somebody out there that is doing this kind of stuff and they're being shielded because you're afraid that it'll make you look bad in front of a court, it's just like hiding a pew-pew when it comes up, right? You're an accessory. You allow this to happen. You allowed it to happen to people that you say you care about. And I find that to be disturbing. Because if you will do that, where is your line? And if this person is the monster that she herself claimed, why do they have time alone in a car or unobserved? I'm not saying they are. I'm going back to her words on that. Like that, again, that stuff's disturbing as fuck to me. And I don't think that gets taken seriously, just like they said there. I don't think it does at all. I think it gets taken seriously by people that see this. And again, I feel like I need to say this every time. I'm not telling you to contact anyone or anything. I'm just saying to them, why don't they take it seriously? Because at the end of the day, those are pretty fucking serious allegations. I wouldn't throw that stuff around like haphazardly, saying, I would never throw around allegations like that haphazardly. I would hope most people wouldn't. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree that that just gets brushed aside. There's been all of this discussion about environment, like talking about environmental dangers, like the broken swimming pool, nails, locking a kid in something. I mean, there's been discussion about that kind of stuff. But the real red flag to me, if you damage a kid like that too, I'm going to say, if somebody lets that happen, I've been on the other side of the table when you try to put a kid together again. That's what therapists do. They try to put lives back together again. And it is awful. It is an awful fucking thing to see what kids go through. It is so damaging when, for the first year of talking about cases, I couldn't talk about anything kid related still. It bothered me so bad. It like I said, it can cause secondary trauma. And that's not to be like, oh, I'm the focus. No, it's so bad that it damages the people that listen to it. So you can imagine how bad it is for a child. And I think that should be a concern for those people that talk about this. Again, it was to one of them at one time. Something bothered them enough that they made a public statement about how they thought that the biological parent should be involved. But then they reverse course. Oh, no, that's not a big deal. They come into chats like this. No, that's not a big deal. I mean, this isn't some random fucker out there that said that. This was somebody that was actively defending every single thing they did. That was talking about plans to off somebody's 2 dogs and much more. It's funny too, because like I said, in the focus of that, there have been some horrible comments made. Anybody that covers this, anyone at all. I mean, like, they added legal vices to it. Legal vices is like like, no bullshit. Like, that dude is one of the nicest people I've met. Like, he tries to listen to all sides in something. He allows people to have their moment to speak about it. If anybody, out of any lawyer I've ran across, that dude is a nice guy. He is. I've seen his actions in front of the camera, and I've seen him behind things. And they threw him in because he talked about this in a way they didn't like. Like, again, you know, can I be an asshole? Hell yeah. Hell yes. I don't even deny that. You know? I don't at all. Making me spicy? Sure. You get her going? Sure. Vices, though, like I said, he's one of the nicest people out there. He will give anybody their voice or anything. He would allow them to talk about it. He probably still wouldn't let you on, Bruce, because he's not stupid. Nice doesn't mean stupid. You know why a lot of people won't let Bruce on, by the way, just to be honest about this? Because a bad faith person can take your channel down. And I don't mean reporting you. I mean, if he gets on here and he starts talking about Yahtzees and, you know, saying how, you know, how they did this or that and, you know, gives it a thumbs up, like, that can be damaging to you. Or you could, like, scream out something, and I wouldn't put it past some of these people. If you're going to trust somebody at all. Now, I could control... I would control certain people. Like, I would take the risk. Again, if Lynette wants to come on, she's invited. Totally invited. Now, I'm sure her counsel will tell her, no, you can't do that. But, of course, you can get your voice out there. Almost 400,000 people here. You can make pre-recorded statements to do a couple of thousand, sure. Or you can get out here and talk with the big kids, if you'd like. I'll even help you set up that theme park in Otter Creek. Like I said, Otter Creek Elvis. You're married, It'll be the greatest thing ever. That'd be funny. It'd be good. They know how that fucking live stream would be. They're like, he's so mean. I wouldn't be mean. I would ask questions, though. I asked Jeremy Hale's question. Go back. Look at Madam Mayor. I asked her about every allegation against her. Like, anytime allegations come up or anything, I ask them about them. Now, I didn't believe any of them. I'd be like, you didn't ask them and dig into them like, you know, you were attacking. Because I'm not attacking them. Because I didn't believe you. Because I thought they were phony. That they were phony allegations. I think they brought cameras, you know, to help out this old man that asked for things. You know, with Lloyd, I shouldn't say old, elderly man. I don't even want like elderly. 78-year-old man. There, that's what I'll go with. I don't want to be disrespectful to him. I feel old myself. So when I say old man, I'll go with old man too. It's not disrespectful in any way. But this elderly man, or this 78-year-old man who has served his country, they trying to help him out. They made all these terrible allegations about them. Yeah, I've seen what they've said about them too. Like, some of the horrible shit they've gone after them, businesses. That's what they back. Ugh. I'm gonna read some super chats. Let's see what people have to say or ask. Again, if I notice something, I'll put it there. I'll talk all night otherwise this way. I like freeform, like just speaking like this. This says no. I felt like I had to air this thing out. And I didn't plan anything. I don't want to pull up a bunch of stuff. I just wanted to talk about that situation. And really just to talk about my thoughts on this. and not just like I said, stuff. People just talk about the case. Why does this case matter? Well, the case matters because it went after people's rights, many rights. That's what it started out with. But I mean, it's become so insane. Like I said, these people are promising to make it more insane. They're going to bring more and more litigate. They're hoping to break Jeremy Hales. They hope to break him financially. You know, they hope to break him fucking... Like, listen to them talk sometimes. Like, really listen to what they have to say. Like, I've seen comment, like, people send me stuff. I've seen them commenting about, like, they go after his channel. People try to flag it. People try to downvote everything. I mean, it's just wild stuff. And when it doesn't work, again, what's next? Do they back off? No. They just keep escalating. What's next, too? Here's what's scary about the escalation stuff. It also tells people, like, again, the allegations with John Cook, I don't feel like where do you go from there? Like some of the stuff that we saw in a video with threats towards Jeremy Hales, if there's no line and there's enabling, if it escalates, where do they escalate to next? Because pretty soon there is no crazier. You know, at a certain point, you get to an escalation, you get to something real bad. And I kind of worry about that. I do. You know, somebody that said that they carry around everybody around them saying that they drink all the time. They themselves saying that they carry around a firearm all the time. You have to worry about how that escalates. Because it doesn't escalate well. Fallen Hero. Thank you for the... Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. Give me 1 second, I'm on mute. All right, just weather, man. Weather changing here. Ugh. Fallen Hero, thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate that. It does not allow a statement, but there's plenty of statement in that. So thank you, buddy. You also hear all the time. Man, I can't say how much I appreciate you all. All of you. For real. Sean, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Thugs. I love to say that, by the way. That's why I said it that way. I like it. Amy, thank you for the super sticker there. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. What's up, K-Rab? Good to see you, K-Rab, by the way, man. Appreciate you. Been around forever. Appreciate you. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, my friend. Brandis. See, I got it right again. Thank you for the $10 super chat. There's no statement attached, but again, the statement is in backing the channel. So thank you for that statement. Thank you for backing the channel. Max Lab. What's up, Max Lab? Appreciate the heck out of you, my friend. I love all you people that dig up documents and other stuff like that. Like sometimes I don't read the smaller back, like some of these I don't care what they, unless they're like legitly, you know, again, the escalation of stuff. Yeah, I was very curious about that. But some people will send me stuff, like Max Lab sends me stuff, and other folks do too. I don't want to detract from any of you. You know, there are a lot of you that send me documentation and everything. And like I said, Max Lab, I appreciate you. Thank you there. Hey, Tug, you're awesome. Dude, you're awesome. Appreciate you. George, thank you also for that super sticker. Thank you there. Super stickers are funny to watch roll in. I always get a good laugh out of it. Leotila, thanks for the membership there. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. What's up, George? Thank you for the $5 gift super sticker. Blah, I'll get the word right in a minute. Thank you for the super sticker. I got it right finally. Thank you there, for real. Laura, I didn't see this. I've been concentrating on the chat the whole time. When I was talking about stuff, I was just thinking, you know. I was kind of in my own head for a minute. Thinking about, like I said, I wanted to choose my words carefully because what I was saying here was not, like, when I was bringing up stuff they were bringing up with me, I don't want to make it sound hateful. I don't have to do this, by the way. I'm not doing that because of a court or anything else. You know, like I said, there's nothing going on right now with any of that. There's a different way. Adults trying to handle adult business, okay? That's not the reason I'm doing that because I don't want to harbor hate or ill will. I don't feel that. Again, you know, I hate it when people's relationships break down. You know, you love or care, you love somebody for years, that you lose that sometimes in you. That's a you thing, but it's still there. And you find that again. So when I brought that up, it was just in my own head with it. Because I was trying to choose my own words very succinctly. Carefully may not be the right word either. You know, I'm not trying to avoid any minefield with it. I don't want to point anything in another direction. If people want to hate, like, point it at me. Like, is that so hard, by the way? Like, can't these fucking weirdos, like, if you want to hate somebody, or is it so bothersome because people like myself will laugh at you? Is that really so bad? But anyway, Laura, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you mods. Laura, though, I appreciate you. Just asking to slow down the chat there. Because the chat got crazy for a bit. I didn't think about it today. I didn't think about it yesterday. Yesterday had a great turnout for talking about DUI guy. That was fun. In fact, I thought about talking about what we're discussing here today, but I didn't. Because again, you know, I don't want guests around. I don't want to put them into a weird situation. Like, that'd be extremely uncomfortable. So I tried to say that I was going to address it today because we'd already planned this thing. And I mean, that's not something to throw someone else in, because I like DUI guy. I appreciate the hell out of it. It was so much fun yesterday. It was great. Megan, I appreciate her. I consider these, you know, I have a lot of associates online. I have a handful of friends online, and I consider those folks my friends. So I wouldn't put them in a weird situation like that. Angie, thanks for the 10. Hey, Tug, thanks for truth telling and just being real. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think, again, you have to kind of get used to when you're on the microphone, like right here, I always said that I want people to value my words. And I would be a hypocrite if I didn't talk about certain things. You know? So, it was a good time for it. And I appreciate you all being receptive and giving me a moment there. Amy, thanks for the 2. We got your back, Tug. We love you. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, I try to have people's backs too. You know, that's why, like, when Veteran Nation, they went after them, I try to have their back. I can't go... I don't see every fight. I try to bring up people, like, you know, I'm not talking like if you get in an argument with somebody back and forth on Twitter. Like, that's your beef. You have fun with that. You know? But if a mob comes after you and tries to ruin you, yeah, I try. I try for sure. And because people have my back. All of you do. Thank you. Wendy, thanks for 5. Tug, so happy to hear your wife's doing better. It's a hard, hard road. Yeah, love and prayers for all of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and... like I said, I hope what I said, I hope it was very reasonable there. I don't want people bothering. I want that recovery. You know? I wish that for any, if any of you are going through a road like that too. See, societally, when people have, like, addiction, it's hard to go out and to admit to it because people will beat you down for it. Societally, you are beaten down for it. People look at you. We still haven't gotten past the idea that is just some kind of weakness. I remember, you know, when I was younger, like, that was an older way of thinking. You're just weak, you know, be stronger. And there's so much more to it. It is rough. Very well is. Dan, thanks for the 5 there. Doug is going to be the pit bull you don't want to cross paths with. Indeed, you know, that's the thing. Like, I'm very good at finding things. So, you know, I guess they like to find things. I can find things too. You know, I'm good at finding things to do, for sure. Cindy, thanks for 4 months there. Appreciate you. Thank you. Sue Scott, thank you for the 5 there. Tug, I'm sending you hugs and also ex-wives. Much love to your family. Thank you. Appreciate that, for sure. And, you know, any conversation where I don't plan to bring this up again, okay? So I'm just noting. I want to clear the air with it. It's out there. I don't want to bring it up again. You know, like I said, I'm not a backward look. I think you have to be able to look back to move forward. Like you learn from lessons in the past. That's not what I mean. I mean, you can't live in the past. You live in the now. You learn from the past. But anything, any hurt or anything else, you pick it up. If it sticks to you, you carry it and you go forward. And you also give people the opportunity. If anybody has ever wronged you, there's some things, again, I would not pertain to this, but with certain exceptions, you know, you let people try to make that right with you too. So, Wanda, thanks for the 5 there. Get them, Tug. We love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sandra D. What's up, Sandra D, by the way? Thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Angie's Way. Thanks for the 10 there. You know, I've learned that people eventually tell on themselves, all on their own if you listen. The toxicity oozes out, yeah, to be seen by all. And for those, the karma buzz will make its rounds. Indeed. You know, I've also learned, like, people root for your downfall. You know, you'll see this with every YouTuber. We've dedicated shows to that. You know, where are they now? People root for your downfall. They also root for you to be uplifted and to become better. You know, people like terrible people, they love the spectacle of a fall. But they also, normal people, love a rebound. So, it's a strange culture. It is. You know, you just roll with it all, man. Thanks for the 10 there. Like I said, you can mess around with me all you want. If you mess with my kids or grandkids, I will mess your shite up. Yeah, that is a guarantee. Indeed. That is indeed. That is 100%, you know. Kids should be... It's funny, because, like I said, they try to use that, say, oh, kids, really? Yeah, uh-huh. They're like 27 CPS reports. Many of those came from Otter Creek itself. You know, I mean, we've seen the videos there. They're a real problem. Like, those agencies exist for a reason. As much as I dump on them and everything else, they exist for a reason, too. It's a sad reality. And I hate it when fucking people that I believe have some real issues, they try to weaponize, pretend they're fucking victims all the time. I hate that with everything. I hate false accusers. Because one day I want to get to the point where we can have a conversation about doing right by actual survivors. And the only way we get there is to remove the false accusers and we remove the victimizers. And it's a long road. It probably won't happen in my lifetime, unfortunately. But maybe we can make some headway. What's up, Sandy? Thanks for the $50 super sticker. I saw that up there in the top, too. Thank you. Appreciate that. What's up, Rider Chick? Thanks for the 5. I had CPS weaponized against me by my ex-in-laws. It cost my ex a lot of money when my attorneys finished with him. Yes, yes, indeed. I have seen. It's not a fun thing, you know. I've had a few CPS visits, like I say, you know, from covering stuff. It's wild people do that. They've never even seen my kids. They hear them, like they're happy, they're goofing off. But people have called they've called like crazy stuff. It's wild. And yeah, if people get caught doing that, woo, man. It'll rain hell down on their lives. Is it Rosalind? Hey, thanks for the 5 there. What's up, Rosalind? How you doing, by the way? So proud of you. You amazing person. Dab the torpedoes. You're an inspiration to so many. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just trying, like, I think we're all normal people out here. Like, all of you. I think all of you have something powerful. You have, most people don't realize this. You have a powerful testimonial in you. You've dealt with, all of us by a certain age, have dealt with loss. We've dealt with hardship. We have a powerful testimonial. I hope more of you pick up microphones one day and you talk about it. Write books about it. Live it. Share it. Because many of you, I'm sure you're very inspirational people. Thank you, too. Amy, thanks for the 5. Take you down to explain yourself. Well, I don't feel I have to explain myself in this either. That's the thing. I appreciate all of you that said this too. I don't feel I have to explain myself, but I'm not going to allow another person to create some kind of fucked up narrative where, again, they'll hurt another person. Because ultimately, when all of them try to make contact and do all this weird shit, they will do harm to someone else. And like I said, I'm tough enough to deal with whatever comes along. They can't hurt me, but like I hear a kid coming. Just a second. Yes, ma'am.
You done?
No, ma'am. I have a few more minutes. Okay.
No, what?
I'm still on. Thank you.
For how long?
I don't know yet. I have no idea. I have to check in. The kids check on me too. They're like, "Hey, Dad." They check on me to see if I'm doing good and everything. Like that, kids are funny like that. It's nice too. If you've never had kids, by the way, it's so cliche to talk about that. It seems like, you hear people say you won't understand until you have kids. And I always thought that was so, like, whatever, until I had them. But it's hard to imagine a little person that you knew before they were born. And you saw them like my oldest daughter. When she was born, she fit in my hand. I have a big hand. I'm tall, and I have a really big hand, and she would fit in the palm of my hand. And now she's turning 11. You can imagine like the connection there, and it goes both ways. You can't imagine someone that you can have friends and love them, but you can't imagine somebody that like loves you despite everything. It's amazing that way, and that's why you protect them too. But I don't have to explain myself because, of course, better person they'll ever be. Love you, got your back. Yeah, I appreciate that. I know you all do too, But yeah, I don't feel like I ever have to just be like, wow, I've got to tell you what's going on, But I do like to live. I don't like secrets. Secrets are like a rot inside of you too. They rot. They eat away at you. So. Rachel, thanks for the 10. Tug, I want to say your honesty and integrity shines through. Thank you. I genuinely wish there were more people like you who are present physically and emotionally with kids. Love to you and the girls. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't like, I didn't have kids like when I was like really young or anything, and I think emotionally that helped. I think sometimes, I think, like, again, I'm not saying anything when, like, people that have them younger, maybe you're the greatest person ever. For myself, I don't think I had that emotional wherewithal. I think as I got older, I could see flaws in myself and fix them. Elfie, thanks for the 5 there. So Bruce explains motives on last night's Two Fleas podcast from. So if anybody wants to check that out and see exactly what the motives are that I was talking about before. There's actually a 20-minute place there. Somebody should clip it and share it with other folks because I don't want to encourage you to give them more clicks. But, yeah, there was 20 minutes of Bruce explaining his motives. Maybe somebody should encapsulate and clip that in case it were to suddenly disappear. Because, Bruce keeps digging a hole for himself. Like his statements, when you sit on a live stream for 4 hours and talk about your motives, about going after somebody and try to weaponize, he keeps digging a hole. He keeps proving what he's doing. And sooner or later, all that stuff, it can potentially come out in court. All the times he's wrote YouTube legal, tried to shut down channel. I mean, all of that. So maybe that would be worth clipping there and putting away for another day. Right, a chick, what's up? Thank you for the gifted membership there, too. Thank you. Appreciate you there. Thank you very much. I love gifted memberships. I really do believe in the... It's another thing I liked about Jeremy. Like we was talking about the... You know, when he's... Again, I don't know if I like the word community when I use it, because some people use community like a way to impose rules on other people. But this, like, channels built this thing where we're all in something together. And if there's enough of us, we could actually do something good in the world. And I liked what Jeremy had to say about that. Because that's the kind of the way I look at my channel. Enough of us together. We talk about serious issues. We talk about lighthearted stuff, too. Enough of us together, we can change the world. Mr. Sky, thank you for the 4 months. Honored to be part of the Tug family. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad to have you here, too. And, you know, we'll sometimes... one of the things I do want to note, too, is you can disagree with me on a lot of things. You know, anything you want, really. I want to go back to the times, you know, people used to be able to, or at least we pretended to, agree to disagree. And I think adults should be able to do that. So you are part of this. We will disagree on certain things. That's okay. I'd love to have you all here. I know you are welcome. In fact, it's your thing, too. I'll get some things wrong sometimes. You know, I'm a human being in it, too. I try not to. If I get it wrong, I will go back and correct it to the best of my ability. But agree to disagree. Man, wouldn't that be amazing if we get back there? Lou, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Like I said, I love memberships for that. So thank you. Mr. Sky, also, thank you for the $20 super chat. Here's a little something. Go do something with your kiddos. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll give it to them on there. Like I said, we're going to take a... I'm going to change, like I said before. Sunday through a few days, I'm going to take... Like I said, I'll probably still live stream. We're only talking 2 hours in a day. And, you know, it'll continue stuff with YouTube. But also, again, I enjoy it. My kids benefit from it. But I'm going to let them have a change of scenery. You know, we're going to go do something. We haven't done it in a year. I don't know. So, with everything that's going on, I'm going to do a life reset. You know, get the mind right for everybody, myself included. Cindy, thanks for the 22 months. You're awesome, Tug. Thank you. I wish I got my daughter a good therapist. When I found out what my ex did to her, I blame myself. Give her a life sentence. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like, there are certain things that, with a therapist, that's one thing. Like, one of the things that bothers me with the Otter Creek stuff, too, is if that relationship seems very dysfunctional, that main relationship, and they need professional help. And if it's just emotional issues there, a good therapist could come in and could reestablish contact. Again, this can't be done in everything. Some things are so bad that they can't be. But like in my life, that's why again, as a therapist, I know, like kids, they have to be validated and what goes on. They have to know that they're okay. And, you know, you have to prove to everyone in your lives that things are better. Because with substances, now there are certain things that can't be. And you cannot blame yourself either. You can't blame yourself in a situation. When something goes wrong, you can't fix other people. They have to fix themselves. And they have to do it for themselves. And on top of that, you know, some people just mess up. Some people are monsters too. You know, there's a distinction in that as well. Not everyone is redeemable. Some people are monsters. But a lot of people just fuck up in life. But if you run across a monster, or you have someone else fucking up, you don't blame yourself in that. So, and it's sad. It's sad the damage that gets done to. Mystery Sky, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sandy, what's up, Sandy, too? Thank you for the gifted membership there as well. Man, I love these freaking gifted memberships. And I love seeing the members through there. Silhouette, thanks for the 5 there. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness, respect is earned. I enjoy your channel. Thank you. Yeah, I think also, you know, with that, with strong moral principles, you understand, like, again, we're always learning. We make mistakes. A lot of people don't realize that they're fallible and that other people are fallible too. I know. And that's something people run into. Thank you there, though. I appreciate you. K-Rap, thanks for the 10. Tug, thanks for sharing. You didn't have to. But we appreciate you to do. You're great at Dad. Say hi to Bug and Lug for us. Indeed. Yeah. Again, I don't feel like y'all didn't ask me to explain it. I just, like I said, people are putting shit out there. And, I mean, like I said, 60 people I counted sent that over to me. 60 people. And there may have been more. What's up, Veteran Nation? Thanks for the 2. I don't know why he sent me Travis's letter. I think it's because he's nasty. He probably didn't send it to Travis either. It was so, and you know, afterwards they started claiming, oh my God, Travis sent it to Tuck. You know, and I was like, what? No, that's not how it happened at all. Brucey sent it to random people. So, thanks for 5. Would Juicy Brucey consider the Pee Wee Herman of lawyers? What are you doing in that? What are you doing in that movie? What are you doing there? You mean that kind of Pee Wee Herman, or do you mean like Pee Wee under the big top? I'm just curious what you meant by that. Jack Small, thanks for the 5. BM and LP feel like they deserve a life they didn't earn. Yep. LP wants to live like Jeremy. BM wants to live like DUI guy or successful YouTubers. Yeah, you know, these people could start their own YouTube channel. Maybe they could be good at it. You never know. You know, here's the other thing, too. If I wanted something covered, now here's the thing to Brucey. If I wanted something covered, I could reach out to, say, Yellow Flash. I know Yellow Flash. Guess what? If it were important to me, I'd be like, yo, Yellow Flash, I need this covered, please. You know, hook me up. Yellow Flash is my friend. He has a big platform, you know. He's got hundreds of thousands of people. Bam, there's that. I could reach out to, I could think of a dozen people that I know like that. But they don't want to put in the time. Again, they want to shortcut it. They're hoping that, and his letters are crazy, man. They sound like conspiratorial nonsense. Like if I were to read that stuff, like Megan would say, you know, as a journalist, she looks at that and thinks, what kind of whack job would write that? Max Lab, thanks for the 2. Tug, please write YouTube legal while on live. That would be funny. I don't know. Daddy YouTube might not be happy about that. So that's the only downside to that, you know. They might feel that's a personal call out to them, and they might be like, no. So that is an interesting idea, though. John, thanks for the 20. My parents lived as if they were broke all their lives, never even installed a shower in their 60-plus-year-old house, tub baths only, kept a garden for extra food, surprised us kids. We all inherited a little something. See, that's awesome, man. I mean, it's, you know, they lived, and yeah, like you gained at the end of it. It's shocking there. Like me, I don't have the lot. Like when I grew up, I grew up poor, but I didn't know I grew up poor. I didn't understand that. Now, there's another level of poor. I'm not very far removed from it. My grandmama, like, I don't judge poor. Like, that's the thing these people try to say about Lynette, too. Man, my great-grandmama, she, you know, I mean, we're talking outhouse, like, no floors. Like, I mean, you're talking poverty. But everything that she built was hers. She would not accept, like my granddaddy would try to give her more. No, she would not accept, because everything she had was hers. My granddaddy, you know, he went off to war, retired from freaking multiple jobs. He's a farmer still. You know, we have farmers in our family, but still, you know, you're not wealthy in that. My mom, like I said, I didn't know we grew up poor. But my kids, I want them to have a life I didn't know. You know, my mom did everything there, and I appreciate the heck out of that. Like, that's what a parent should be. I try to give my kids that. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing as we go forward. If we strike that balance between, you know, we want to leave them something. It's just amazing. Like when I look at my grandparents and what they did, it's crazy to think, like, the struggles they had and stuff. Limp, thanks for the vibe. Tug is very wise. Keep our families out of it. Indeed. You would think, like, everyone has loved ones. That's what I don't get. Like, doesn't everyone has a mama or a daddy or a favorite uncle or a friend? I mean, they have somebody they care about. They can imagine that. Bonnie, thanks for the 10 question. Is it true you don't get views if you stay on hours and hours? People fall off, so it's better to keep lives to 1.5 to 2 hours. It depends on the replay. So lives are weird. First of all, you don't grow subscribers from this. In fact, like where I've just done live streams for a while. Again, the reason I did that, you know now, is because I had stuff going on. When that situates, and I feel, again, even when there's, you know, I'm making sure priorities looked at for family, okay? But the point I'm saying is lives don't grow subscribers. They'll grow you a little bit if you're a small channel. Ricada Law is a perfect example. That channel, from what it covered, should have had, if it would have done videos instead of live streams, that channel would have been over 1 million subscribers. Well over. But did live streams every day. We go back and forth. Like me, I'm right at a certain point where I don't grow back and forth. The YouTube algorithm doesn't look at live streams the same way it looks at videos. Because like you're saying, you know, there are people in there, they fall off after time, and the algorithm sees that. You go on 9 hours, you're not going to maintain an audience for 9 hours. That just doesn't happen. You maintain your audience. The peak numbers happen around 1.5. After 1.5 hours, you start losing not subscribers, but viewers. If you look at anything, unless you're like a really small channel. But bigger channels, for me, I have a peak time of right at 1.5. So yeah, the perfect time is 1.5 to 2. Now after that, people go and rewatch. People are not going to go rewatch a 9-hour live stream. That's just reality. You know, most people in their day are going to see a 9-hour live stream or 9-hour video or whatever, unless it is amazing. I watched one on the Death Note, you know, the anime story. I watched one the other day that was 10 hours long. I put it on like an audiobook, listen to it, because that's an audiobook level. Okay, to put a 9-hour live stream into perspective, many audiobooks, the average, not like a Stephen King or something, but the average is somewhere between 7 to 12 hours. So people to dedicate 9 hours of their time, That is like going through an entire audiobook, sometimes every day. If you're doing 5-hour live streams every day, I mean, you see what you're asking people to dedicate over a week. Like just 2 live streams, a 9-hour and a 5-hour. Man, good Lord. Look at the amount of time you're asking people to dedicate. So yeah, that's actually a real problem there. And you'll never grow like that. You'll have success in the immediate, but it will kill your channel in the long run. Like a small channel, once they stop covering this, like if it's one that is totally dedicated to this, they will die. I do not say that to be an ass or anything either. I say that I've been doing this for a while. One of the things that I look at a lot are numbers. I look at tags. I talk about tags getting shadow banned. You know, I've talked about all of that. I find that interesting. I like the inner mechanism of how platforms work. And that's one of live streams are, unless you're a bit like for me, I can do this and sit here and maintain at a certain level. And I'm okay with that. But their channels will die after this. If it ever lets up, they'll go back to 200 to 300. Heck, they may do that now. If they covered something else, cover something else for a week. See what happens to their channels. They will die. I guarantee that their channels just that won't exist. I mean, you know, if they want to exist at 200 clicks, that's okay. I mean, that's okay with them. But their channels will die like that. Live streams are the whole hour. There's a huge learning curve to all this anyway. But you're right. Yes, people fall off. It hurts that. But yeah, a 9-hour live stream, hours and hours. Who's going to watch hours and hours? They'll watch pieces or segments. That's why Clippers channels exist. And people are more likely to watch Clipper channels sometimes in replay. It's a good question, though. I like that kind of question, too. BK, thanks for the 5. Can't afford much, but hopefully this will help your breadstick funds or whatever you help you and your girls. I appreciate that. Don't ever feel like you have to do anything. Like I said, we run independent media out here. If you want to support us, definitely do. It helps out. Like I said, I work this and I work my regular, and it helps out tremendously. But I'm fine, too. You know, you people support. Let's do what we do. And like I said, I thank you for it. And it also doesn't, I've never taken an advertiser. I've thought about it before too. Like some people will take advertisers. I get advertisers that hit me up, but I don't ever want to be beholden to an advertiser either. You know, there's money in it, you know, but I've never believed in a product enough to be like, you need to buy this, you know, and I never want to be like, oh my God, if I don't say this, I'll lose my money. So, yeah, I try to keep it independent there. We make comics. You know, we've been delivering our last one. We're looking at a new one. I can't wait to tell you all about this thing, but that'll come later on. Brandis, thanks for the 5 there. Narcissists go after the things that are important. Yeah, to you when they realize they can't affect you anymore. Only to hurt you and get a reaction. Indeed. Indeed. That is very much true. Some people just like to hurt you. You know, they can't be right. You know, it's like arguments. You know, people go from arguing truth to wanting to be right to just wanting to have the last word. Some people do anything to have the last word or to be right. Sometimes people will try to clear the entire board of anyone else disagreeing with them to be right, which is nasty stuff too. Because what some people, what they'll do to do that. Nicole, thanks for the 16 months. We love you and proud of you. Father, you are. F the haters. Indeed. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I try to be a good fight. If anything, I try to be that. Cheryl, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. Kings, thanks for the 5. I can see Deuce hopping in and randomly screaming, they're putting stuff in the water and making the wrong guy. Yeah, doing the Alex. Yeah, I could see that. Good old Deuce Jones. Yeah, I could see them doing something wild. Very wild there. Thanks for the 10 there. Lionhead is the most evil or I'm sorry, vile. I said evil. My brain scrambled at vile, not evil. Vile, hateful, lying, vindictive. There's the evil and toxic person I've seen or heard. The way she treated Randy Shockett during a deposition was downright criminal. She needed jail. By the way, we will continue with that probably tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, we'll continue with the depo. The depo's crazy, man. Randy seems like a freaking saint with his patience, man. Rhea Wright, thanks for the 2. You're a great guy. We're here for you and love you. Appreciate you very much so. Thank you. What's up, Vanessa? Thank you for the 10 there. Hope you're doing okay, too, by the way. Man, by the way, I forgot to give, I gave Dead Punk a little bit of love for the for the picture. He put this up on Twitter. People should follow Dead Punk, man. His stuff is hilarious, but I love that. That's where that picture I Plead the Fifth came from. But Vanessa, thanks for the 10 there. Thank you for sharing, Tug. We appreciate your candor. Thank you. I appreciate that. Brenda, thanks for the 2 there. You do you, Tug. That's why we're here. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, I feel like we could cover anything we want and do whatever we want. And that's fun. Like we're all together in it. Laura, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships there too. Thank you. Appreciate that sincerely. Thank you. Aaron, thanks for the 5. My dad raised. He's a single guy. He's my best friend. To this day, you're an awesome father. Thank you. Yeah, my daughter, she sent me she gave me a card the other day. I was going to say send me a card. She gave me a card the other day. You know, they like make you things and stuff. It's funny how those things, they start to matter. You know, like from your kids. You're like, no, I don't want you to ever buy me anything. I want you to make me something. Or you made me a card. Oh, it hits me in the feels. I like that though. I love stuff like that. Wanda, thank you for that gifted membership there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wanda. I appreciate you. Debbie, thanks for the 6 months there. Well, being loving to your wife. You shared your pain in a polite, gentlemanly way. I lived through the same. It's hard to live through. Thanks. Yeah. Situations are hard. I mean, I don't want to minimize the situation either. I don't want to minimize anyone's pain. Like I said, I went on 2 years and it was rough. But people have struggles, man. You know, and you don't want to cause them harm. You know, the past is the past. You know, I don't need you all as a therapist. If I need a therapist, I'll go get a therapist. I don't want to emotionally dump on you or anything like that. That's another point with anything either. I see some people that use their streams like therapy sessions, and I'm like, that's not the way to do it either. But yeah, thank you. I like I said, I hope I handled everything in the best way possible. I hope that came across. AJ Stone, what's up, AJ, man? Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, AJ. Thank you, brother. Emma, thanks for the 2. The moral is, don't mug with Doug's loved ones. That should be the moral for every, you know, like people shouldn't go after your loved ones, should they? Huh. I mean, really. Desiree, thanks for 5. Seriously, if you want a good laugh, check out the tortoise in the shoe video with the sound on. I'm going to check that out right after this. I'm going to see how that looks for this. And I'll play it live if it's... I got to see who owns the copyright, too, if they'll flag your stuff for playing it. Kat, thanks for 5. I wish the best. You and your family, much love. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Debbie Marie, sorry. Thank you for the 10 there. Here's to being a survivor and living for today and tomorrow, not a victim that lives in the past. Yes, exactly. You know, I've talked about like the difference between a victim and a survivor, and there's no shame in either of those words. But somebody that is stuck in this, I see people that are victims. They're stuck in this perpetual cycle they can't move their lives on, and it's so horrible. And you see people that survive it because they can move on with their lives. Yeah, neither word is a bad word. Some people think like victim is a bad word. Wanda, thanks for the 2. Love you too. You're a great guy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Wanda. I do appreciate you. John, thanks for 5. Totally relate. My little girl was only 6 pounds when born. My wife kept saying, hold her, and I kept saying, I'm scared to touch her. She might break. Man, I was scared. My oldest daughter, when she was born, she didn't breathe correctly. And it was scary. Like, they had trouble, and you could see them panic. You could see the panic in the people, like, you know, the doctors and everything. And they took her back, you know, they finally got her to breathe correctly. But they took her back, and, you know, they'd given her an IV and stuff. You know, she hadn't had her little eyes open yet. She was all panicked, and she seemed like so fragile. Here comes a little one. Give me a second. Hey, girl. Yeah, give me that for a second.
What just saying? There.
They're saying, man, I love that little girl there that comes through. She's such a nice person. Yeah, that's what they say.
Thank you for ever said that.
Yeah, thank you. That was nice of them, wasn't it? Here you go. There's your wonderful thing. Oh, thank you for the used chewing gum. I really appreciate that too. Gross.
Can I talk to her?
Yeah, here, well,
Thank you.
you can say thank you, but then
Thank you, and I love you. Whoever did that.
yeah, that was nice. Give me 5. Appreciate it. Here, go upstairs for me. I'm almost done. Thank you. You go upstairs.
We're done.
Yeah, I'll be done in a few minutes. I thought you were packing your stuff.
It's already packed in my soap bag.
Okay, well, make sure you got everything you want, okay?
I have everything. My bracelet, all my lip gloss. I found the 2 blue ones.
Oh, man, you found your lip gloss and everything? Okay, that's great. All right, we'll go.
And one was a slushy and...
Okay, well, if you got a plushie and stuff, we'll go get it. Go get it and put it in your bag.
It's in my bag.
Oh, you're putting it in. Okay, we'll go have fun.
It's my favorite digital one, but I want to keep the blue one.
Okay. She's like, she's got some lip gloss. That's the best thing in her life. She's like, oh, I love that lip gloss. It goes everywhere. But yeah, what I was saying with the little one. So, like I said, she was small. She would have fit in my hand, you know, at the time. But she had an IV in her hand and stuff because when she was born, she, like I said, she wasn't breathing there. And I was nervous. Like, I'm not scared of anything, really. I've gotten to the point in my life, I'm not scared of anything, you know. And that scared me. That little bitty kid scared me. But, you know, she was crying, and I spoke to her, and she responded to my voice. She started to calm down. And I sang a song to her that I'd sang to her all the time that she had, you know, before she was born. And she, you know, she calmed down there. And she ended up opening her eyes a little bit after that. And man, I tell you, like those are, it defies words how to put those moments into sounds like the emotion. You can't really convey it. It's such a thing, but like what you're saying there, that feeling like, man, I'm afraid to touch her through my brain. Yeah, that's exactly there for sure. Niece, thanks for the 10 there. Lynette's a perpetual victim in her mind. I can't imagine living life negatively every single day. What a miserable person, a life she has. Her whole life has been what we're seeing now with what the hells. That's what it feels like. I mean, we hear we've heard the cop call. We've heard her talk about other people. Like, it's not just, it's anybody. Like, everybody. It seems like every relationship's poisoned. It's crazy. And ultimately, if every relationship's poisoned around you, maybe you should look at yourself. It's just a thought. So, yeah, thanks for the 2. Brucey needs Gingras Coke. Oh my God, they would be so amazing together. I would laugh. I would probably die if they got together. I would love it. John, what's up, man? 20 gifted memberships. Man, I saw a little flood of them. I didn't see where they came from. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Amber Jackie, thanks for 5. Thanks trying to take kids to hurt you. Son's dad tried. I told him they'd never find the body if you hurt my baby. He wanted to hurt me, intention. Yeah, that's terrible. That is. And to note that, there's been no, like, for myself, there's been no allegation of that or anything else. Again, you know, like, there was the allegation of it, like, with anger at the beginning, I mean. But now, like, after that, there's none of that. I mean, it's everything's at a different place than it was when that stuff that these people brought up. Like, just a note. Like, things are in a much different place. You know, the anger's not there. The working on self and sobriety, all that's there. The doing good's there. And the making good is there. So, I'm just, you know, I want to know. It is awful when that stuff really does happen. Because people do try to hurt you that way. You know. And it's awful that happened to you. I hate it when it happens to people. You see it a lot, too. Rick, thank you for the $3 super sticker. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sin, thank you for the super sticker as well. I appreciate that too. Thank you. John, thanks for the 2 there. Candy money for Bug. Yeah, she's already been saving money. She doesn't really understand the cost very well of it still, but she's been saving up some money for candy. She's like, oh, can we go on vacation? She was actually asking me about flying. I was like, we're not going to fly, we're going to drive. She's like, when we fly, will you hold my hand? And I was like, well, if we flew, I would definitely hold your hand for sure. But yeah, we're not gonna fly. We're gonna drive somewhere. And fair for all. Thanks for the 20 there. The sheriff could have, should have cooled this down. Yes, actually, if law enforcement would have done their jobs in Otter Creek, this would not be where it is, would they? Like, really, when you look at this as a systemic fail, this was a judicial fail. There are systems in place that should deal with this. But I'll tell you, another thing that I've found over the last couple of years, like watching just, you know, I've had experiences. And I've seen, like, there are so many system fails you wouldn't believe. You know, you hear about how bad it is. It's worse than you think. As much negative as I've talked about, like again, systemic failures, judicial failures, it's worse than that. It's much worse than that. And if a person did want to try to do you harm, if they could, it's awful. It is absolutely awful. That's why I worry about the Jeremy Hale stuff, because again, in that situation, I feel like somebody does want to do him harm. And I think that they're on a limb on their own. That has to be horrible to live through. But anyway, I've been on here for a while today. I appreciate this. We will have a regular freaking live stream next time. We are not doing this again. You know, I'm not saying we won't have conversations, like real ones, but stuff like this. I don't feel the need to ever talk about something that comes up that people bring up, but like that, again, they decided to put that bullseye on people that I do care about, and I wanted to explain that for them because they don't have the voice for it. My kids can't explain it to you. Why she couldn't explain it to you? You know, they're focused on, you know, the kids don't understand it. She's trying to do something else. Trying to get herself better. Somebody, you know, I don't want them, and again, I also said what would happen if they did it. So, I guess they don't care. All right. Like I said, game on. But anyway, I appreciate you folks. What a live stream. And we will end here.